The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
The tape never lies.
Told us multiple times as media members, you would be shocked at how evenly distributed the reps were for Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. At the end of the day, Mitch Trubisky finished really strong. He showed better accuracy. And I know it's just training camp, you guys, but better accuracy in the red zone. His footwork has significantly improved. And he's really staying up in the pocket and using more vision downfield, at least through training camp. That being said, one of the things Nagy talked substantially about was the adversity that this young man has been through.
He's been through some stuff now. He's had an interesting, first 3 years to his career, and at the end of the year, it was a tough year for us this year. And then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, we're going to make a trade for a quarterback that happened to be a Super Bowl MVP. And then, by the way, we're not going to do your fifth-year option, right? There's a lot of that's not easy. And so now you talk to both of these guys and you tell them we're gonna make this competition extremely fair. And we're going to be honest and open. We're going to communicate, and we're going to let you guys go play it out. And I think from both of them, the only thing that they both asked was that it was fair. Ultimately, it's my decision to make that final decision.
Mitch Trubisky has been pushed to the brink this offseason. He has worked double time. You guys, I just watched recently a documentary, I Am Bolt, the great Jamaican sprinter, the greatest sprinter of all time, Usain Bolt. I would encourage everybody to watch it. It is so inspirational. I am not comparing Mitch Trubisky to Usain Bolt. Athletes, however, are athletes. Leaders are leaders. If you watch this documentary, every time Bolt, 8-time gold medalist in the Olympics, he had every world record. Somebody said, whether it was Justin Gatlin, the American sprinter, or somebody in the media, you're not the best sprinter anymore. You're not the #1 guy in the world anymore. You're too old. He went to another decibel level with his training. Mitch Trubisky has done that. He's the leader of this team. And somewhere along the way, you guys, somebody said to him, this is not going to be your team anymore. That triggered something in his mind, and he said, you're not taking my team. And he is at a different level mentally than I've ever seen.
Selfishly look at offense, we got to score points, right? We got to protect the football and score points, and that's got to be our main focus.
He was now a starter because Matt Nagy and his staff collectively came together, and they looked at every single rep from training camp. And when I tell you guys that these reps were split right down the middle, I mean, Nagy even told us this past weekend and multiple times this offseason that you would be shocked at how equally they were distributed. Now, he finished camp strong, Trubisky did. Accuracy was better in the red zone. I know it's just training camp. Footwork was better.
He really finished strong, which was good, to finish strong with some really accurate throws in the red zone. He did some things. I told you all along his footwork has been much better in the pocket in regards to staying up in that pocket and hitching up there. Decision making has been improved. So we're always working to try to get that better. And he knows that. You can feel the command. And I think the difference in the command that I felt and that our coaches felt was it's one where it's just very natural. It wasn't made up. It wasn't being told from somebody how to act. It was just very organic. And you can tell that with guys when they are natural with that. And I thought he improved there. So
from General Manager Ryan Pace and his two big takeaways to piggyback on Nagy, decision-making improved and overall command. That was a term Nagy used. It was a term Pace used. And I said, well, Ryan, can you be more specific? He said, whether it was a 2-minute, a hurry up, a blitz period, it's impressive how he's handled the pressure amidst a competition, really, and then the tempo that he's operating with in and out of the huddle. So I really believe that Mitch Trubisky won this job, and they believe that he won the job, and he'll be the quarterback moving forward.
2 things I taught my son and all my children: you always surround yourself with good people, and the tape never lies. You're keeping it 100 with Shayne and Phil.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
starts now.
The tape never lies.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory 4th-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears select Cole Kmet.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now them out stuck like the true and now and laters. Debaters, claws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We analyze so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Hard crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100.
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is Shy City Sports Keeping It 100. We got a great Week 1 show for you. We got Q&A with NFL Network's own Adam Rank. We're going to talk QB1, QB2. We're going to talk Mario Edwards. We're going to talk the new additions on our defense, the new starters, Johnson and Gibson. So let's bring our boys out. Shayne, Phil, what up?
How's he doing?
What up?
How's he doing?
He's little better, right?
We gotta teach him how to count to 2, obviously.
Oh, I was cut off. Hey,
these barbers can't count.
We're keeping it 100 with Claudio, the barber, and he's getting it, Shayne.
He's getting
there. I'm just getting there.
Like the coach, I'm calling the plays and the.
It'll work out the kinks. The communication is there, and that's all that counts.
The communication is key. You know?
And I want to just say that it's all right. You guys didn't invite me on live to talk about Trubisky. It's all good. I've known Phil my whole life since I was 3. I don't need to come live to know that he loves when he's right, and he loves to tell everybody about it. So I did not need to come live for that. It's all good.
He's still got red marks on his back from his own hands.
Well, speaking of right. I was right about Trubisky, and I'm fired up about it because it's football week, guys. Bears, Lions, the pandemic, the fucking breakups, the drama, the little bitches talking shit in DMs
Twitter.
And all this shit around the world. You can't be loyal. You can't be mad. You can't. Fuck you. Fuck you. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Step up to the game. Get the snap and step up, Mitch, because you have a lot of haters. The coach even said it. He knows it. You heard it in that open, Shayne. It got me fired up because Everything you and I, Shane, have said about this guy, Mitch Trubisky, is coming to fruition. The coach is telling you he's got to deal with a fucking lot. He's got to deal with this. He's got to deal with that. And he won the competition. Stacey Dales, all over it. I'm fired up for this kid because I feel like he's going to shut a lot of fucking people up week one. But again, that stage is so shaky. That stage, everyone is going to be flip-flopping every week. We're used to that in Twitter land. Bears Twitter. It's like as stable as a freaking Canadian queen. You can't ever have any stability. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, hey, as a professional athlete in any sport, we all know you just want the ability to go out there and either win or lose the job yourself. This is what Mitch, he said. He said he's got his confidence back. He's got his swag. You heard Matt Nagy talk about it. This team needs to get that swag back overall. And if you get your quarterback out there playing with that confidence, that's going to filter down to everybody. It's going to permeate to the offense, and then Khalil Mack and the boys over there are going to get the defense rolling again. And to me, I think all of this comes down to confidence. We know we have the talent. Mitch is the guy, QB1. You saw a big tweet going viral a couple of days ago asking simply one question. Are you going to root for Mitch to fail, or are you going to root for Mitch?
Right.
And that's what I said. If you're rooting for this kid to fail, then you're not a Bears fan. People were blowing back and say, you're not the ambassador of fandom. People aren't looking for you to tell, how to be a fan or not. Well, yeah, I am. I'm here to tell you that if you're rooting against Mitch Trubisky because you don't like the kid, then you're not a true Chicago Bears fan. Go root for Green Bay. Go root for Minnesota. Go root for somebody else. Don't root for my team. I don't care. When Mike Glennon was in there, it was tough because we knew we had the young kid down there. I didn't want my team to lose. I wanted the Bears to go out and win every fucking week. This team has been about losing way too often. It's you talk about a pandemic. That is, losing is a pandemic. We've had too much of that. You go out there, you start week one, you get hot, you ride your quarterback, you do everything that you can do to make what he does best come through on the football field. And I think they're ready. I think they're primed to go, man. I couldn't be more excited. We all deserve this. The 100 crew, everybody here.
Yes, sir.
Cars is going to be coming on, joining us later. Adam Rank. We're all Bears fans, true blue Bears fans. And it's been a long 2020, and we're going to get some happiness here on Sunday. And hopefully around 4 p.m., we're going to be hitting the airwaves live on Bears Hour Live, talking about the Chicago Bears W in the Motor City.
Oh, is that a segue for a commercial?
I think so.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game. With host Shane, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. Every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bears Hour Live.
Oh, shit! Look at that.
That narrator's smooth.
Yeah, he is. And you hear his little Super Mario jump? That was him jumping up to give me high five, man. We caught the audio. That was pretty sweet. My boy over there. It's like, hold up.
That is the new voice of our show, our network. And that's our guy, Lawrence Fleming II. And he is bringing a fire and a passion to the network. You're going to be hearing from him a lot this year. I'm trying to key in and get him on later on in the show for a quick appearance, maybe during the shout-out section. But yeah, Lawrence and I and Shane have been working, and basically I've been working all day getting narration over the drop. So you listeners that are on the podcast version that are listening and hearing these things going across and these noises now will have a narration to what is happening, and that will be by none other than Lawrence Fleming II, who's a part of the Tape Never Lies network team. We have a big team of people moving forward that are A, loyal, B, friends, C, passionate, hardcore Bears fanatics, and that they love what we do and bring to the game. So listen, before we get more into this football thing, one favor that I ask of you. Bears Hour Live, Sunday, right after kick. Going to be all over Facebook, YouTube. Go subscribe. Share it with your boys. Next week, The Tape Never Lies, the first episode, because someone deleted all my work and put it somewhere in the universe and decided that's the classy thing to do, which clearly I'm being sarcastic, will be out. The first one next week. So go over, subscribe to the Tape Never Lies network on YouTube. It'll be released depending on when the All 22 comes out, Shane. So either Wednesday or Thursday. Hopefully it's Wednesday, and then we could talk about it next week.
Time to bring that out on Wednesday.
Well, I hope, Shane, because you've put me to work. I'm like a slave driver here.
That's right.
You're like a slave driver here.
Well, I gotta say too, anybody that wants to enjoy watching a game gotta watch it live with Phil, because Phil gets possessed. I mean, I swear, dude, it's like The Exorcist. This dude, he doesn't care what's in front of him. He doesn't care if his kids are there. He just throws everything out of the way. He's like, "You fucked up," and everybody, every play there's either a fuck up online. Yeah.
My vein starts to pop.
It's fun. It's fun. So we got to live stream that somehow.
We're going to. That's going to be a part of Patreon. That's right. Claudio, as we get business.
That's a segue, isn't it?
Segue. Patreon live watching Bears games with Phil, Shane, sometimes Cars, Claudio, and you'll see and feel, and everything will be going down 100. Anyway, Trubisky starting. Shane, how did you feel about how the kid handled himself in regards to, this week being named the starter, the quarterback competition? I really heard you, me, and Cars from years discussing this on another network, now coming to fruition with the coach saying he isn't rehearsed, that it came from a natural place. Talk about it.
Yeah, when I watched Mitch, you guys know how I am. I'm trying to look at things just from a different perspective. I know I say that all the time, but I really do. Phil and I had a little run-in with that. He's like, dude, I don't even know how the fuck you saw that when we were working on editing some stuff for the show.
Yeah.
But to me, you could literally feel Mitch give the, this is what I needed. This is my job. I'm QB1. Now I can take my team. I can lead my team. And I'm going to do the job that they brought me here to do, because it's put up or shut up time. There's no, he's not experienced enough. There's no, he needs another year. It's not. It's that stuff is over. It's put up or shut up time. It's put up or shut up time for Mitch. It's time for Nagy. It's time for a lot of these guys. The offensive line has to step up. The defense has to get that dog back each and every down. You can't have those crucial let-ups, in critical moments where they give a touchdown with the struggling offense. So that's all you can really ask for, is for this team to be put in the position they invested their entire existence in Mitch. And now it's time. And that's all we can ask for. There's no more questions.
They put the conspiracy to bed.
Yep.
I think Stacey Dales did a tremendous job, as well as J.J. Stankovich and company out there handling the questions to get to the root and move aside. There's a lot of haters, and it's hard to be playing the most important position in all of sports, and that's quarterback, especially in the Windy City where you've seen them tumble to the ground, and it's just over and over. It's too big. It's like that fucking giant wave when you're not ready for surfing. You're just crushed.
Yep.
It's happened over and over and over. We've never seen anybody just ride it all the way in. We've never. There's nobody you could think of. Sid Luckman. That's it. And now Mitch is putting aside that one thing about Ryan Pace being involved in this. The GM's going to be involved, but ultimately you took the head coach right there. I edited it. I was so happy to see him come out because we were disappointed that he didn't announce it himself and Schefter did it. And it forced a conspiracy. So now Mitch has the backing of his team. He's got the backing of the head coach. And he won the competition that they said was tracked evenly down the board. And that really, listen, you only could paint with the colors you have. You only can play with the players you have. It's always the same. You can't play Madden 2021 if you don't have the fucking game. So here we are. Now, Mitch Trubisky won. He beat Foles in the competition. Shane, you're back. You're behind him 100%. You already knocked that shit out of the park.
100%.
100%. You cheer for the jersey. He gets under center. What are your feelings about this guy? Is he going to be nervous? I know he plays well against Detroit.
Phil, I bring it up every year. You know, one thing that I've always loved about a coach like Andy Reid, yes, he's always had stability at quarterback, and now he's got the quarterback, let's be honest. You have to be aggressive. You can't, I'm not a believer in let's go out there and let's get a couple easy throws in, couple little dump offs to build up the confidence. No, that's manufactured fake bullshit. You know what? Nagy preached when he got here that they were going to be aggressive, touchdown to check down. My first fucking play, you know what I'm doing? Phil, how many times have I talked about it? Pop up here on the screen with me. I'm fucking attacking. I'm fucking Mooney. We brought you here for a reason. I'll put Mooney and fucking Ted Ginn out on the field together and just say fucking go, unleash it, attack these fuckers and send the message. You may wind up with an incomplete pass. Yep. But you know what? If you hit that shit and you hit it, you drive the stake right from the jump
Lions.
street.
You're getting them on their heels.
Yeah.
It's always about mental It's NFL, high school, Pop Warner. You always are looking for the matchup.
Absolutely.
So if you can find a shot downfield, I don't give a shit. All goes. All goes. Let's action game. All goes. And freaking throw the ball down the football field. Get Detroit on their heels.
Even if it's an incomplete pass, Phil, you're loosening the fucking defense up.
Everybody's
right there.
loose.
Exactly.
How many times I either first play of the game, I'm running fades or I'm running a trick play. Every game. So every coach in the Housatonic League was thinking, we got to be ready. And that's all they preached to their kids. So if we ran counter instead one time, because I'm self-scouting, that shit went for fucking 40 yards down the field. And I got the same thing and same outcome that we needed. And that's really the job of this play caller and head coach here, to start thinking in the mindset. You saw it for years with Brett Favre. I know Fat Mike just fucking checked in once I said the name. You would see him be erratic. He couldn't hit a freaking 7-yard hitch. And once he got his confidence, so what better way to help this young quarterback who's won the fucking competition, exactly, Chris, than stop with the fucking curls and a fucking flare route check down, or we're going to run bubble screen on first down. Let's take a poll. Let's take a bet here. Let's take a bet here. I will. I know we're working on swag, so I don't know what to give yet. But we'll in the future swag. First week kickoff. If he goes deep, how many of you are saying he's going deep? How many of you are saying it's going to be curls? How many of you dive play or outside zone to start? Remember they did run a trick play into Shayne against Green Bay. I was up in the coaches' seats watching it with our boy.
House call, man.
Was a house call out of the T formation. They ran toss sweep.
And he fumbled.
And he fumbled the ball, and that was Tariq Cohen. If you go back to the tape never lies, oh, my bad. Someone deleted that shit. You would have saw that I broke it down, and you would have seen for the first time, maybe it was the only time, the first play of the game was blocked perfectly. Perfectly. Even Leno got the scoop block and was freaking completely wedged in Smith. And you got the freaking alley right up in there like fucking, what's his name? Fucking Lombardi himself. You got a seal here and a seal here, and you got it right up in there. They had it. They did. It was a house call. And certainly enough, we fumbled the ball. So execution is going to be important here as we get into this with the Chicago Bears this weekend. Kickoff weekend, no fans in the stands. I'm sorry, Greg, but there's no fans in the stands. So what do you think about that, Shane, especially playing in a dome?
Yeah, it's going to be somebody tweeted out that they've heard some of the fake crowd noise, and it's going to be really hard to get used to, that it's not very natural. Like I watch baseball, and I know they have it there. They seem to have been doing a pretty good job with that. But they have it's going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to have the cardboard cutouts like they do in baseball up in the stands. I gotta
in Detroit.
Yeah, probably not. They'll probably have cardboard cutouts with bags over their head, and pencils in their fucking ear. You know,
probably they probably will.
But no, it's going to be different, and it's like I said, this whole home field advantage thing is going to be interesting to see that dynamic, how much it does swing, because when you go on the road in a dome, you know, especially in week one, you know, you're going to your quick count, you're going silent, and you're not going to see that anymore. So to me, you know, with Chicago opening on the road, you get to experience a little bit of that and see how it is. I think that will be a benefit for them. But as I said last year, Phil, you can, you know, well, I guess you can't go back and watch the shows either because those have been deleted. I'm sorry. But last year we talked about week one, Super Bowl aspirations, Green Bay, bitter rival coming to Chicago, national TV, kicking off the 100th season. You can't lose that game because it sets the tone for the entire year. And it really does. And I look at this game much the same. This Chicago Bears football team cannot go into Detroit and get fucking beat and lay down.
Right.
The beginning of this schedule is pro Chicago with week one and week two. And then week three, they're on the road, I believe, in Atlanta. You have to come out and you have to be decisive. You have to take your shots and you have to be aggressive. You have to stay aggressive. I don't give a shit if you believe in Mitch or don't believe in Mitch. Dustin said that they were only running curls because of Mitch Trubisky. Maybe some of that's true, but they're also running fucking fade routes to a 5'8" wide receiver last year. True. It makes no sense.
In the Tampa game where he threw 6 touchdowns, he's throwing deep balls down the football field. Again, this is about matchups and play calling. You can't rewrite history here when it comes to Trubisky. When I look at the tape and I see the guy, fundamentally, he's off sometimes and on sometimes. That's never changed. The reality is the blocking, the play calling, the running game, the use of personnel and situational football has always been horrific under this head coach. Now, Phil, it sucked under Mark Trestman, Phil, it sucked under Fox. Well, there's a coaching issue. This guy's learning on the job. And then you got a young kid with limited starts. And we could go back and rewrite Watson, Mahomes. Everybody knows the story. If you don't, I wanted Watson. Shane wanted Deshaun Kaiser. And that's where he went.
Not up there, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
We've never hid from... He was my fourth best quarterback, Trubisky.
Mine too.
But on the
Number 4
tape,
for me.
he is a bear. And I have to assess and analyze him fairly. I've been called a homer. I'm I'm manipulating tape, which you can't do. Okay? So receiver coaches have been speaking out against some of the players that are starters, that have not known their assignments or run the right routes. You add that to the equation. So this kid, Mitch Trubisky, has faced a lot in a tsunami storm that is Chicago quarterbacks. Just look at the history. No one's been successful, including God's gift to quarterbacks. And that's Jay Cutler. If God decided, hey, I want a quarterback, I'm going to give this woman birth to an NFL quarterback. Jay Cutler is the model. And what is it in the head, mentally, surrounding talent? We saw moments. We know the story. Jim Miller, Shane Matthews, Moses Moreno, fucking, what was
Craig
the kid?
Krenzel.
Craig Krenzel. The kid who went up to Canada. What was his name? He's a Hall of Famer.
Henry Burris. He's on the coaching staff.
He's on the coaching staff. You know the stories. All of the fans. You have one job. Really. It's like, don't be an asshole. Don't be pessimistic. He ain't going to do it. Don't send that energy out there. That's other networks. Just that negative energy all the time. That's other fans, other fan bases. Send some positivity. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. My son, this weekend, he's learning how to ride a bike. He's so determined. I couldn't believe it. My wife's getting nervous. I'm like, give him a chance. He's going to get some... You're right. I took some bruises. And sure enough, the kid is fucking riding on his own. That's what you got to do. You got to believe in that. The positivity, all of that needs to move forward. Like Claudio, Mr. Sunshine, not putting enough comments up. I got 187 comments I see, and I don't see anything
He's
going on.
He's still counting. He's trying to figure out what comes first.
And he puts Greg Braggs, of all people, up first. For God's sake. Guy can't even pick up the phone and call Shane or me. He puts him up. Smoking Jay Cutler. He's the worst at this.
Craig's too busy kissing everybody's ass.
Oh,
publicly
God.
To pick up his phone.
I
love everybody.
I love everybody.
Fuck my boys over. That's okay. Give me a retweet. I'm Greg Braggs.
I'm the mayor. Don't say mad things about me. Cars. How about Chris Chandler? There you go.
Oh, there you go.
So positive vibes. Positive vibes. You got to get those for the quarterback. And when you look at this football team, and Adam Rank has texted me that he's running a little late. So we'll continue on our discussion here, Claudio, and bring you back in.
Erase that off your show flow, Claudio, and put it for a couple minutes later. Don't want to fuck you up.
Put your highlighter down.
Well, I did want to ask you guys a question about
Go ahead.
Trubisky. You guys talked about the fans not being there. That's going to maybe have an impact. But what about the no preseason and no live hitting? You think that when he gets shot, a big shot might rattle him or what?
I think that goes back to, and I know Dustin brought this up in the chat too. I've talked about going deep on the first fucking play for 5 years. I think that's even more of a reason why you fucking attack and be aggressive coming out, because they haven't had a preseason either. There's going to be an adjustment period. Fucking go out and, like I said, you have the defense that you can rely on.
Yes.
And to be aggressive on offense. You know what I mean? If you do make a mistake, you're hoping that this defense is going to be cranked up, ready to go, and make an impact there. But yeah, it is a legitimate concern, Claudio, because how many times did Matt Nagy say these guys, my guys, got to get calloused? They got to get calloused. They're not getting calloused in this environment. Let's be honest.
The reporters are using that word now, calloused.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that word before. It's only when I'm doing yard work, like raking leaves in the fall. I hate to rake in the fall. My wife always gets pissed at me, like, rake in the fall. I'm like, I'm going to rake in the spring, and then everything's going to get done all at once. But she wants to do fall rake up. Do you do fall or spring? You don't even have fucking trees, Shane.
I don't have trees either.
You don't have trees. You're fucking.
I got rid of trees.
Brats.
I got rid of
trees. I have a European that makes up for it.
Fall in your house.
You take 10
minutes.
Sit down for 10 minutes. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But
I have so many leaves.
She's in shouting distance, so I want to be a little bit quiet.
Yeah, I have so many leaves that drives me crazy.
Yeah, you do.
All right. So let's switch topics here. I mean, obviously everybody knows your guys' opinion.
Hold on, I'm still talking about callus. I get raking leaves was my point.
Let me do my job.
1 second.
All right.
Mitch Trubisky, if you're not ready to get hit and you've played football, just like my story about my son riding the bike, Mitch Trubisky has played this game his whole life. Every one of those guys is professionals. You have a job to do as a professional to go out there and play with your, hair on fire. We talk about it. We see the loafing. We see the agitated or angry fan that sees loafing. I'm not a big fan of that. I have to see these guys go out there and play like they know how. You got to be fired up. That's really what you need to do. And I know Claudio's struggling with your comments and stuff, guys. We're trying to help them.
They're having conversations on their own. I can't put those up. You know,
you got to make comments there.
Well, Phil, even as a football player, and even like I said, it goes for most sports. You go out there and you get that first big hit out of the way, and then that juices you up. It gets the adrenaline flowing, gets you ready to go. That first time that Mitch gets hit, or he rolls out of the pocket and goes for 15 yards and gets out of bounds and gets hit. Get that out of the way. And like I said, I just think Matt Nagy, when he got here, this is what I want to say, talked again about the aggressive mentality. I think he was trying to force that, because I see, when they get to 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, you don't see, all right, go. We're going for it. You see some debate. You see him maybe questioning himself. That's a change that I want to see in this coaching staff this year, is be aggressive. Practice what you preach. Go out there, and if Mitch fucks up, you got your guy that you hand fucking picked out in Jacksonville to come in and run your offense. Go out there and let Mitch do what he does. Don't limit him. Don't restrict him at all, because you cannot play football that way. You can't. It'd be like the Baltimore Ravens coming out and telling Lamar Jackson, stay in the pocket, don't run. It's not going to work. He's not going to be as good of a quarterback. And I'm not taking anything away from Lamar Jackson's ability. I'm just saying that's what makes him a special football player. That's what makes Mitch who he is. That's why Ryan Pace believed in him. Part of it was his athletic ability, and part of it was his arm talent. Let him go out there and play fucking football. Don't put restrictions on him. You've poured all the money into this defense. You can rely on them to dig you out of the holes. Lord knows they've done it for, 20-plus years now here in Chicago. I mean, 99 out of the 100 years here in Chicago. So, let him go play football.
We're seeing that YouTube, there's some issue on YouTube, because we're not seeing any issue. Are you, Shane, over there?
No. What are they saying that the issue is?
Something is going on YouTube. Right, it's loading and skipping for EJ Jones, my boy. Lisette. Fernandez is in there. Is it back? Is it working?
Tell them to close out their browser and then
go ahead,
reload it and see if that happens.
They're right there.
Walk them through it.
Walk them through it.
Just close out your browser, just like I just said, and then click back on your browser.
Clean out your cache if you're using a Galaxy phone.
Yeah. Because I'm on our YouTube on my laptop here separately, and it's
fine.
I have no.
So you just ask us. It's faster than calling YouTube and asking, getting customer service. Just ask us. We'll,
hold on.
Shane will tell you what to do.
You're on the phone with Apple. How may I help you?
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, Samsung Galaxy phones. I think it's a Midwest thing, Just try to be nice. Just give everybody, even if they're assholes, give them their due. That's just not an East Coast thing. I don't get down with that shit. I keep it 100. That's what you expect on this show.
Are we starting dumb tweets now, or?
You keep it 100. You keep it 100. You keep it 100. I say it 3 times. Because when you're looking at this football team, you have a championship quality defense. You really do. And I think that really sets the stage. You got a bunch of defense. That front 7 is something to recognize, and it's going to be exciting to finally see that uniform, finally see NFL football on the stage, and especially the most beautiful uniform, I think. And it's not really biased. I just always have thought, even my mother, who was like growing up a Cowboys fan, would say that Chicago Bears uniform is just so sharp. It's so clean. It's so pretty. And really, ultimately, I didn't think it could get better, but then they brought that 1940s jersey out, Shane.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that is so fucking crisp. I love that. And then they got better with the fucking throwback
stripes,
last year with the stripes. And I'm going to wear that on Sunday when we do Bears Hour Live. For those of you who weren't here earlier, this Sunday.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game. With host Shane, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. Every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, immediately after Bears games. Your guys, draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bears Hour Live.
Oh, shit! That.
Oh,
I love
shit.
when that.
I like the oh, shit.
Oh, shit. It's going to be here Sunday. We're going to be live. Shane and I breaking it down. Sorry, maybe Claudio. He might be at my house.
Oh, I think
he
I
might be in the
yeah.
house.
Might
be at my house watching the game, breaking down Lions Bears post game. Immediately when it ends, we are going to go live. Shane is going to open the show. I am going to fucking absolutely tear apart a rant of excitement that the Bears, I don't want to ruin my prediction, have won though. And I am going to be fired up as I always do. I'll have to turn the gain down on my phone for Steven Zimmerman because I don't want to get too fired up. My boy Chubbs is going to be ready. So that's this Sunday right after the game ends, live immediately. So please continue. I got to say this real quick. Adam's still letting me know he's going to be here. He is still on another show, and then he's jumping into our show. So the guy's busy. So just giving you an update there. But he will be here. We're getting to Adam.
In the meantime, why don't we switch stuff? We'll go to defense. We'll go to defense.
Look at you, Claudio.
Well, I'm trying. I'm taking the initiative. All right. So we had a pretty decent development a few days ago. Mario Edwards getting picked up.
Mario Edwards.
And then same day, Pinheiro being put on IR. So, what are your guys' takes on that? I mean, you like Edwards' addition, and
yeah, I do. I was very happy when I saw it pop up there. I was a big Mario Edwards fan coming out of FSU. The two guys that I had earmarked for Chicago that year were Edwards and Goldman, I believe. If I remember right, I think Edwards went right before, or a couple of picks
it was
before
very close.
Eddie Goldman, but I loved the Goldman pick. I mean, Phil can attest how excited I was when they drafted him. I was really, really happy. But he's not a guy that's going to come in and dominate. He's not going to be a guy like Akeem Hicks or even an upside guy like a Roy Robertson Harris. But he's going to be a consistent guy that's going to give you versatility along the defensive line. And having those guys around that can get you 3 or 5 or 6, 7 sacks in a season. You saw a guy like Nick Williams last year step up.
Great comp too.
Yeah, the difference with Mario Edwards is he's got the talent, but now he's surrounded by even more talent, and that's going to make him a better player. He's got Khalil Mack out there. He's got Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan and Akeem Hicks, and too bad, if Eddie Goldman was there, but Robert Quinn and these guys. That's only going to make him a better player. He's a very, very serviceable guy. Still only 26, I believe. He was another guy along with Goldman who was very young. They're both 20-year-old rookies coming out.
Weren't they teammates?
Yeah, at FSU. They were in the same draft.
Exactly.
So that's how that would work. Yeah, you're pretty good at that.
Well, the thing I really like about this signing is the versatility. And Nick Williams, who was basically an unknown from Samson University, came in there. And when you...
We'll see him this weekend.
Exactly. He's going to be on the Lions. In a team sport, when you get those guys that are able to play the 5 technique and able to go down inside, give you plays and reps at nose, it's so important, as well as the 3 tech, it's so important that you get to the point where you're able to rotate these guys and get after the quarterback as well as the run game. When you look at the Detroit Lions, they got Bo Scarborough there. Who's the other back they picked up?
They put Scarborough on IR.
Did they? I didn't see that.
I do like he's nicked up too. DeAndre Swift they drafted in round 2. I thought that was a good day.
Is he going to be playing this weekend?
I don't know if he's going to be ready, but I think that's more so why they signed Adrian Peterson. They have Kerryon
we
Johnson.
Haven't even gotten into Peterson yet, but
yeah.
I think it's going to be in the fashion of Bill Belichick, Patricia's family tree. I think you're going to see a lot of Adrian Peterson, a lot more of Adrian Peterson than people think, based on what I know about Belichick and how they use these veteran players. And I think, listen, the Lions somehow do the Matt Nagy thing all the time. They get away from the running game and they start throwing the ball all over the yard. You like, to see this guy come in here, Edwards, and be a part of the rotation. You look at Roy Robertson Harris, you look at Akeem Hicks, my boy John Jenkins there inside. Obviously Bilal Nichols.
I lost Big John on my Madden franchise.
Did you?
Yeah.
He got nicked up?
Yeah, he went out with a patella tendon.
Oh, jeez, don't jinx my boy.
I know.
I got big plans for John Jenkins. But I think you look at it exactly, Mitch Galloway. You look at what he brings staying on him.
Could never have enough of it.
You got another starter that's got reps and experience that's coming to a team that already has more talent than where he was coming from. And you look at that football player, and I think I've seen this happen so many times in coaching. You get a guy that's good or average on another team. Yep. Shane would call them fabric players. And all of a sudden, they come to a team and they fit and they get even better than you were expecting them to be. And that's really exciting for the Chicago Bears, who already have a good defensive line. And Bilal Nichols, I'm wondering how they're going to use him, Shane. I think I would start Jenkins at the nose. He's got experience. He's got size, strength, especially what you're wanting out of that. Bilal Nichols is kind of an unknown. He had a down year. I know he got nicked up. We thought big things for Bilal Nichols coming into last season, and he really didn't show up the way we had hopes, right?
Yeah, and I think that, he's one of those guys that I think is in line to have the breakout, if he can stay away from the injury bug. And I think somebody put it, I don't see it up there, but there it is. They're asking about if they're going to be more of a 4-3 front. That, to me, that would make more sense because they've talked about putting, Bilal strictly at the nose, and then you do that in the 3-4, and how that's going to work exactly. But I think they have the horses, and now that's why they add a guy like Mario Edwards. Like you said, adding that depth to that defensive line so that if they're going to make that transition and going more 4-3, which we're going to see a lot of that anyway, I think that gets a little bit overrated, but I think that he's going to be more effective. Bilal's one of those guys that Adam Hogue, I think, brought it up, maybe that he's going to be the guy next year, next preseason that you're talking about as the guy that's in line for that next big extension on this team, because he was a 5th round draft pick, I think, in the Roquan draft.
5th round pick. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember I remember you were a big fan. Matt Nagy's old school,
fan.
The Blue Hens. Yeah, so
huge fan of Bilal.
Yeah.
The thing about Bilal, though, that last year he was so in shape, was it the injury? Because his rookie year there was flashes, and he showed the ability to rush the passer from the interior that you didn't see much from other players aside, not named Akeem Hicks. I know my boy Roy Robertson Harris. I just think the world of that freaking guy. Opening night last year, you couldn't see a better performance from a defensive lineman than that. He was in on every play. I know he's in a contract year too, Shane. So all the focus, Quinn, Mac, all the talk by the narrative and the national media, but these guys here, Nichols, Edwards, Jenkins, Roy Robertson Harris, Akeem Hicks coming back.
Stop right there with Akeem Hicks, Phil. This is what I talked about with Mario Edwards, and it's going to hold true for Bilal Nichols. He was nicked up with an injury that slowed him down, but you're going to be putting healthy players around him. All those guys Robert Quinn wasn't here last year when Leonard Floyd couldn't beat a one-on-one. Robert Quinn can. That's going to relieve pressure. You're going to have a healthy Akeem Hicks. You're going to have, hopefully, a healthy Khalil Mack in there. You're going to have Roquan with everything straight and not nicked up. Danny Trevathan's going to be back. Of course, we're without Eddie Goldman, but adding, a healthy Nichols and him in a year 3 with these other guys that are already in place, with a motivated Roy Robertson Harris heading into a contract year, it's going to only make him a better player because everybody else around him is already very good. It's going to take attention away from him. It's going to, it's how it goes, Phil. It's got the trickle down effect. Everybody, they're going to see where Akeem Hicks is. They're going to focus on him. They're going to focus on Khalil Mack, and then whatever happens from there. So you're going to see Quinn making plays because he can beat one-on-one. You're going to see Nichols get favorable matchups. Run game, I'm not quite as hyped about when it comes to Bilal Nichols, but let's be honest, if he's making his hay, getting after the quarterback, we're gonna overlook the run game part of it.
Now, when you look at that defensive line, is there somebody that really is going to surprise here?
I think Nichols is the guy.
Nichols is your guy. Mine is Roy Robertson Harris. So I'll talk a little bit about Roy Robertson. I just want to say this. Again, last season, opening night, as you heard, but I think the ability to play the edge as well as the 5 and give you interior rush. He really reminds me a lot of Tucker. Remember Tucker from the Giants?
Yep.
The defensive end. The kid I think, what did he play at Notre Dame? I know there's got to be a lot of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But that kind of
Justin Tucker.
Yes. That kind of presence.
Or Justin Tuck, it was.
Tuck.
Justin Tuck.
Thank
yeah,
you.
sorry.
Tuck. God, right. Notre Dame fans are mad at me. But
Who
Tuck,
cares?
you look at that, and I think he's got more twitchiness than Tuck has and power. To put all of these players, if they stay healthy, you're looking at possibly the best defensive front. So when all of these guys, these nerd blogs and PFFs and Yahoo Sports are doing their fucking power rankings like it's college football or something, and they haven't taken it down, haven't seen a preseason game or scrimmage or rep, and getting the fans amped up. When I look at the Chicago Bears defensive line, just defensive line, I'm not talking about, I'm not even adding Khalil Mack. I'm saying you are going to be excited because Roy Robertson-Harris, Akeem Hicks, Jenkins, Edwards, Bilal Nichols. Am I missing somebody in there? Is there another one in there?
No, we would have Eddie, but with him.
Yeah.
That's,
we are missing him. I mean,
yeah.
He is going to be a loss. Let's keep it 100.
Oh, you can't. I love John Jenkins.
Guy.
You cannot
right.
replace Eddie Goldman.
Eddie Goldman,
one of the most underrated, top 10, or I would probably push it to top 7 most underrated player in the entire league.
Wow. This guy's putting it in.
I'm not saying he's a top 7 player in the league. He's one of the top 7 most underrated players.
Say it again.
Yeah, I know football fans that are rabid football fans, and I'd be like, they're like,
they don't know
who do you like? And I'll say Eddie Goldman. I'll be, who the fuck is Eddie Goldman? You guys have Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks.
We had Acevedo at the fucking, what was it? The Ross outlet trying to look for jerseys for our kids, and there's no Eddie Goldman.
Yep.
Now, I know people are pissed because he chose... How did you feel about that, Shane? That he chose not to play?
Well,
we haven't talked about that really. So,
well, I'll keep it 100. I was like, fuck, because I'm selfish. I love my team and I love watching Eddie Goldman play.
Right.
But when I look over at my son or I look over, at my family, I get it. This guy's 26 years old. That's one thing as a rabid football fan that I think that we all contend, it's very easy to overlook, is that these guys are human beings. And Eddie Goldman is a guy that's signed to a long-term contract extension. If he went out there and something did happen and it could have been prevented, yes, it can happen with any of these players. But everybody has a different way to look at it. And probably 10 or 15 years ago, I would have been more pissed. But as a father and as a family man first, I'm not going to fault the guy. Selfishly, yes, I would love to have him there because I think he's the key to this entire thing on defense. I honestly do. Eddie Goldman makes everything around him go. I really do believe that. So I think you'll see some subtle changes to rectify that. But man, it's tough, but I can't sit here and honestly tell you that I'm going to think any less of him, because all it takes for me is to walk upstairs and peek in my son's room and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of the dirty grunt work goes unnoticed. When you look back in the 85 team, now those guys are noticed and what have you. But look at this, Claude.
Yep. So we got the man, the myth, the legend in the green room.
Well, he's getting ready. He's coming into the green room. I can't see him yet.
I just want to add on that Eddie Goldman about him, not playing. I'm disappointed too, just like Sandlin said. But we don't know. He could have family members that have compromised immune systems. He could have people where he knows he's going to come in contact with, and it's just not worth it. And it sucks. I love him too. I think he's a great player. But all right,
we got our guy, Claude.
Yep, go ahead, play it.
We got to give him the proper Tape Never Lies Network introduction.
How long did you work on this?
I worked a
Keep it
long
100.
time on
Keep it
this. I'm keeping it 100. This took a long time because I love this guy.
And it is good. And it is good.
I love this guy. So let's...
Draft Dr. Phil pointed this out in the Tape Never Lies.
This is the guy you all fell in love with while he chopped it up with Phil and Shayne at that other network. Not only is he full of energy and passion for the game we all love, he's also a Chicago Bears fan. Ladies and gentlemen,
Keepin It 100.
Let's all stand up and give our boy a proper introduction to the Keepin It 100 crew.
Come meet me at Portillo's and let's get it on.
He's your favorite fantasy analyst, making his Tape Never Lies Network and Shy City Sports debut. He's Adam Ray.
Look at that handsome devil.
That is some talent right there. I'm pretty impressed.
Are you impressed with what I produced?
Yeah, that was amazing.
I told you.
I need that. I need that for. I need to put that on like the Instagram.
I'm going to send it to you right after you get off the show. Awesome. I know you've been rolling all day, bro.
Dude, okay, listen.
Go ahead.
Nobody cares.
Keep it 100.
That is the thing. Like it is so funny because you sit there and you listen and you watch talk shows. Like I grew up watching, Conan O'Brien and all those shows and all those,
right.
And every time like an actor or some entertainer would come on and talk about their days, and you're like, I was up at 7:30. I was doing a green screen check for Good Morning Football. Then we had the Fantasy Football Podcast and NFL Fantasy Live and Fantasy Buy. And then people are like, no one gives a shit. Like, I'm sorry, can I don't know.
Yes. This is keeping it 100. You want to drop the F word. Go ahead.
But nobody gives a shit. Like, that's the thing. Like, they want, like, I would do that job, Rank. I don't care. Stop complaining. So I don't want to be that complainer. The only thing that I do say is, like, the one person, the one critic I do care is my wife's like, it's all good. This is how we get paid.
Exactly.
But Jesus Christ, you got to wash it, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like
the kids, still, you got kids, you got family, COVID, all of that. I know you are such a friend of mine. I really, truly appreciate you jumping on the first guest ever. On the show.
I would have blown off a lesser person. I would have been like, F this. Sorry, bro, can't do it. Like I found time because this is important to me because I know it's important to you, and I wanted to see your face and everything. So this is a huge thing. But I
love it.
But no, this is great. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I appreciate the support that I've had, over the years with you guys. So of course, it's the least. Believe me, if I could have done less, I would have. But no, it's the least I could do.
Everyone says I'm the king of analogies, but I have given that scepter, that crown to you.
No.
But I know we're limited in time with you because the wife, we all have a wife. Shayne's got let me do it this way. Shayne's got a European wife. Claudio's got a backwoods wife. She loves the camp. My wife is from the hood. So she might pull a shank on me. So I get it. So let's get right into the nit and gritty of this. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to react to it, Shayne, because my boy Rank has got some time. His 40 time is much better than Rich Eisen's. I'll give him that. But
Time now for the Chicago Bears, who were a disappointing 8-8 last season. This year, they open up on the road, week 1, against the Detroit Lions, a game you would expect them to win. But the Bears are 0-2 under Matt Nagy in week 1. They have not won a week 1 road game since 2008, and I know that's a long time ago. So I actually have the Lions winning this one.
Say what?
Say what?
Say
what?
So I actually have the Lions winning this one. The Bears start off 0-1.
No.
Ship shape.
Week 5, I have the Chicago Bears beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which might sound crazy. But think about this. Early in the season is going to be the best time to play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
This is weird as shit.
Is this weird for you? Are you all right?
I mean, this is different.
Tape Never Lies Network.
the Look at that rank. What are you doing to us? Detroit.
What do you mean? Did you not see the final product and the final record? What is going on?
Listen, I'm not that Lovey Smith take it by quarters. I'm take it one game at a time. So I know you were. I had to give my boy the shout out because he has us beating Tom Brady. Because Rank is my dude. But the Lions, opening day, COVID, haven't we been through enough pain? Talk about this matchup, Adam. You don't feel Trubisky. We didn't even get into that, but break it all down. Trubisky starting. He won the job. There's no pace conspiracy. Nagy came out, fucking put his stamp on it. As a head coach, you and I, we've talked many a time. The head coach has to be the representation of the team. So are you more confident now? Do you want to change your pick?
Well, you know what? I do this on a national level, and I've got to try to remain as optimistic or as impartial as possible. And I try to be reasonable, and I try to look at like special nuggets about like the Bears just haven't won on the road to open the season in quite some time, and it's plausible. And I mean, honestly, I don't think that the Bears I don't think the Lions are going to be very good in particular. And I think that Matt Patricia constantly trying to find the Patriot way. Like, just Google the phrase Matt Patricia Patriot way every year. You know, it's the same thing that you see with Harbaugh in Michigan, where you're like, oh, they're just a matter of time before the Wolverines are going to beat the Buckeyes or whatever, and he's going to bring the success that he had with the San Francisco 49ers down there to Ann Arbor.
Right.
I really do. I will say as a fan, though, this game sort of scares me because you just never know. Kenny Golladay had such great success against us on Thanksgiving with David Blau, who is the quarterback equivalent of the tepid coffee you get at Jiffy Lube when you are sitting there waiting for an oil change. And it was disconcerting and you're whatever, but you do think about it. And I'm probably more bullish on Mitch Trubisky. I actually feel better about Mitch Trubisky now than I did earlier when I was doing all those back in April or whatever it was, whenever the schedule came out. And I really do believe that they went through a camp and they allowed him the opportunity to win it. I don't think that they were, if Mitch was not playing well, I don't think they would have rushed him in there. And if he wasn't close or anything like that, I don't think that there was a situation where it's like, let's just go with Mitch. And I think that what we have seen from Trubisky is that sometimes when he's put into a corner is when he responds the best.
Exactly.
In the fourth quarter, he plays his best football in the fourth quarter. And you remember, and I hate to go back and I hate to bring up this playoff game against the Patriots, and I think it was an episode of The Tape Never Lies, is that he missed a wide open Allen Robinson on third down with 8 minutes left in the game or whatever it was. They go to the bench, they get a 3 and out, they run the same goddamn play, and he nails Allen Robinson. It's like, at least he went and figured out what was going on.
Exactly.
I feel like if he just keeps that earnestness of learning and constantly moving on and getting better and everything like that, and he just really uses this as an opportunity to springboard himself, we could have something. Because last year, in that game against the Rams, it was garbage. And I think at some point, you know, he's been hurt. Like that goddamn Harrison Smith has been injuring him.
Yeah.
Please, Ed, Harrison Smith, you're a nice person, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a
I'm
dick.
sorry for saying it. No. He
was looking for a cheap shot.
Him. He's hurt him twice, right?
Yes.
The first one, the playoff year, was especially egregious.
Right.
With the way you play football now, you just can't, like, I can't even imagine. I know, like, when you think of Charles Martin and Jim McMahon, that to me just seems like football in the 80s. Like, that's everything. That's everything.
Can you
my
imagine
dad
that in the world with Twitter nowadays? Can you imagine? He'd be I don't know.
Yeah, he would have been vilified a lot. Like, it's so weird how big.
What about Danny Trevathan? Remember when he
that was
took a shot? Remember
First of all.
Okay.
Was it Devontae Adams that he hit?
Yep.
Yes.
Still fighting for yards.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the play
to the whistle,
being concerned, like, hit him, get him down. I thought for sure he was going to worm his way through, because as Bears fans, we've seen that enough in our lifetime, where everybody just kind of like, hey, whatever. And then he worms through. And you know that the refs would give the Packers the call because that's what they always do.
Oh,
Trevathan
James Anderson picked the fucking ball up. Remember that against the Packers?
Of course. So Trevathan comes in to hit him. Then Devontae lowers his head. Like, that wouldn't have been head-to-head if it wasn't for Devontae Adams moving his head down.
Exactly.
Trevathan was just finishing the play. Like, if you don't want to get hit, then fall down. You're still fighting for yards, then Trevathan's going to hit you. Don't lower your head into his head. I was livid that people were all over him. I worked with a guy who was a Packers fan, and he was so indignant about it. Like, oh, how dare you? I'm like, it was not a dirty hit. It was a play. You had to tackle him into the goal line.
A dirty hit. It totally,
definitely not.
And to your point, as Bears fans and all of you all listening, whether it be on the podcast version or live here on YouTube, streaming on Facebook, we've all seen this, Adam, especially with the rivalry and what it means to us, where the guy does squirm, where there is physicality in this game of football. We watch it on the tape, never lies. I can't thank you enough for always keeping it 100 for me and for Shane and shouting us out. You've done it on the national stage for me. My wife, my family, my father, everybody, my friends all over are like, dude, Rank fucking shouted you out. I'm like, what? I'm getting off a plane. That's the kind of dude this is. But really, I know we got you for limited time. Fans are asking fantasy questions, but we're talking Bears.
Yeah,
I know you got.
Listen, hit me up on my day job for fantasy questions.
Exactly.
Let me come in and talk to Bears for a little bit.
Let them talk Bears with us, Adam. Can we get you to come back on when you have a lot more time to discuss?
Yeah. Because I told my wife. Because
it's
6:40, whatever. I'm like, I'll be done by. I told her I'd be done by 6:30, but like whatever. She knows. She knows what happens to me.
Real quick, before we play this one game with you, can you give us a station ID? I'm gonna isolate on you, and you're gonna say, "Yo, this is Adam Rank." And you're listening to Keep It 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Okay.
You got that script?
I hope so.
Whenever you're... you want me to count you down?
No. I got it. 3.
Oh, holy cow. Hold on. Let me give you your lower third. There you go.
There it is.
This is producing on the fly. 3...
Oh, here comes your wife. Look out. I'm kidding.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Rank, and you're listening to Keep It 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
Oh, my God. This guy is a true blue professional. No doubt about it.
I really thought I was going to mess that up.
You didn't. You actually...
Unbelievable.
We were talking earlier. Nagy, line them up, all goes, down the field, first play, get your quarterback's confidence, get the Bears fans fired up that you're aggressive. You were hired to be aggressive. We were talking about that. You just fucking took the snap, fucking threw it down the fucking seam and hit Big Graham running through and just scoring right there. That's what you did. But anyway,
I'm gonna celebrate like a crazy man on every Jimmy Graham touchdown this year. I kid you not.
Can you film it and then we'll put it on our show?
Oh, for sure.
Every Jimmy Graham touchdown is a ranked dance.
For sure. 100%.
Right here on this network. There you go. All right, we're gonna play a quick game. It's called Rank These. We're gonna throw things at you. You give us the best. Claudio, we're gonna add the chat room here to the game. They can throw something at Adam, but it has nothing to do with fantasy football. We're giving him a break from that.
Anything goes.
Anything else? I know. I got my first question.
Rank these. Keeping it 100.
Big delay pause there. The drama. Rank these, Adam Rank. The Big Mac or the Whopper?
Oh, definitely the Big Mac. There's familiarity there. The Whopper might be a better burger, but there is a familiarity and a brand that conjures up a feeling. You know, I see it in my kids' eyes. You know, when we finally break down and you're like, you know what, we're going to go to McDonald's tonight. Those kids mark out like nobody's business. There's nothing about, like, you tell a kid you're going to go get a Whopper, they're like, well, I don't even know what that means.
All right, Jason Lockenfora or Peter Bukowski?
Oh, Jason Lockenfora, that's a friend of mine. That is one of the coolest dudes. I know that a lot of
he's a bear. He's the worst Bears hater, man.
You guys,
dude, how many times have we talked about this?
Let me tell you something. He's leaning into it because you guys are on his case. Like, you don't think the Titan fans give me shit all the time, and you think I'm going to give them an inch? Never. Like, there is a war on, and you know what? You guys declared war on Jason Lockenfora, and I tried to be a mediator.
Could we get him on the show? That would be dope.
I've been the leader of that. I can't believe he hasn't blocked me on Twitter. I've been relentless.
A lot about his skin.
Yeah, it does. I'll give him that.
You know what? When I get done here, maybe not tonight because it's East Coast time. Tomorrow, he's busy. I'm gonna text him tomorrow and be like, dude, I'm on this show. I go, I know you know Bears fans. I go, I'm defending you. I got your back.
You had his back.
Your back. There was one time because he took over for us when Adam Schefter went to ESPN.
Right.
And there was one night we were in Canton. I probably shouldn't tell this story. But we were at a bar in Canton in front of the Hall of Fame game. And he was going to interview the commissioner in the morning. And his agent's like, we got to get you out of here. You know, it's time to go. And he's like, guys, got to go. And so he's leaving. And he's just about outside the door. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll see you, Jason. I go, by the way, Adam Schefter would have bought us shots. And he goes, motherfucker. He just walks in, line them up. And he lined up 4 Jamesons, and we did 2 each.
Nice.
And yeah, he legitimately, I know Bears fans are going to be surprised. He's a great person.
Well, see, we'll unearth that for Bears fans. That'll be important.
You're breaking news here.
But you got to understand, like, he loves Baltimore.
Oh,
like, we love Chicago. And you know what? Like, he's such an Orioles fan. Like, if he was like a guy who was into the Ravens and he's Baltimore, but he was a Yankee fan. No disrespect to Yankee fans, but he's a Baltimore guy. Then he's a dick. Then we would have nothing to do with it. But he loves Baltimore. He's like, if he was in Chicago, he would love our teams, and it would be great, and you guys would love him.
How about those Dodgers, Adam?
I'm not a Dodger guy.
I know. I got to give you some grief. You're an Angels fan. I know.
Real quick, get him some.
That is the hardest thing that I think that Bears fans have a hard time, like, really coming to grips with, because they're like, because they'll want to talk either White Sox or Cubs, and I'm like, well, you got to understand that my family is Cubs fans, or they were, but they are. So when my family moved out to Southern California, my dad wasn't going to let us root for the Dodgers. And I grew up actually really close to Angels Stadium. So I'm an Angels fan. Right. So people, it's tough. I'm a Cubs supporter. Like, I used to be a big Cubs fan until they won the World Series. And I'm like, I feel bad because I didn't go through the wars with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so easy to disassociate yourself. Like, with baseball, if your team sucks, you're like, whatever. But it's such a family thing. Because the games are on every night. Like, the Angels are in my living room every night. Like, it's hard to get away from them.
That's how I became.
Cubs, you can be like, whatever.
My dad's a New York guy, and growing up, he was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. And I live here in New York, and I've been a Los Angeles Dodgers fan my entire life, because in the summers I would fall asleep and could hear in my dad's bedroom, you know, because the game's here on at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
The Dodger games start. I could hear Vin Scully on my dad's clock radio. That's how I became a Dodgers fan. It is. When you say it's family, that's exactly what it is.
For sure.
All right. Biggie or Tupac? Come on.
This is terrible. Like, it's Tupac. First of all, it's Tupac in a wash. Like,
what?
Let me break this down for you. Okay. East Coast, West Coast. Okay.
Yes.
So they, like, whatever, like, they killed Tupac and they responded by killing Biggie. Like, that's not fair. That's like if England came over and killed Bob Dylan, and then during our beef we killed one of the dudes from Chumbawamba. Like, it's not even it's not fair.
You went Chumbawamba.
It's not even fair.
Biggie Smalls. Oh, the notorious I love
Tupac
this.
Tupac's the guy.
I wanted a poster of Rank to be on my back wall. Now it's like, oh, you crushed me there.
All right.
Well, you're a New Yorker. Like, there's again, this goes back to
I'm a hip hop head, and Biggie to me
I got
is
the Beastie
a killer.
Boys.
Oh, I love the Beastie Boys. Did you watch the Beastie Boys documentary?
I don't have the Apple movie.
I'll give you my passcode.
Oh yeah,
so
please
you can watch it. You gotta watch it. It's actually like a Broadway play.
Yeah, it is. It's very good.
It was very strange. But go ahead, Shane. You got a couple more.
That was one of the things, like seeing them at the Palladium.
Oh my God!
And just not like, I mean, I had a great fortune of seeing, like, they were already huge by the time I got to see them.
Right.
And so just being a youngster. And I remember I was on the forefront of when Blink 182 started coming up, and they were a supporting act for Real Big Fish. And being at the plate and be like, oh man, like what it would have been, because you see the photos in the book and everything, like they opened up for Madonna. Like I can't even imagine what that would have been like.
They tell the story in the oh, it's great.
So
You're
crazy
gonna love
because
it.
they were the band, like they were the guys by the time, you know.
Hold It Now or Brass Monkey then. Better song. Which one?
Oh, you know, I really love Hold It Now.
Yes.
That's
now
one
you're back in my game.
That is one that doesn't
now
get
you're back.
that doesn't get enough recognition. That's not one that people think of. They'll play
It's
girls
the
or
Eddie
something.
Goldman of Beastie Boy tracks.
Thank you. By the way, can I tell you a story, a real quick story?
Yes.
Which for me is going to be 3 minutes if we're fucking lucky. Okay. Do you know the song? You know the song "Rock Hard" by the Beastie Boys, which has the trend. First of all, fuck AC/DC for not letting them have that trend.
Oh,
Do you not understand how popular Aerosmith became because they collaborated?
Oh my God.
With Run DMC, and I don't know if AC/DC is a big band or if people think they're popular or whatever. I just think there's some dicks that didn't let the Beastie Boys sample one of their songs. But there's a line in the song.
Yes.
Where I believe it's Ad Rock. Is it Ad Rock? Was it MC? No. It's either Ad Rock, Mike D, or MCA. So one of them.
It's one of the three.
I think it's Ad Rock.
It's King Ad Rock.
He's like, we're from Manhattan. You're from. And I thought for the longest time that he said, we're from. It might be Mike D. We're from Manhattan. You're from Chicago. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Ripping out, like, why are you beefing with Chicago? Like, what did we do? Like, we're fans. But what he actually says, I finally realize, is we're from Manhattan, you're from Secaucus.
Yep.
He's dragging New Jersey.
He's dragging New Jersey's ass.
And I feel great. Like, okay, that makes more sense. But as a kid, you don't know. Like, I'm a junior high kid. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh, why is he ripping Chicago?
A couple more, and then we got to let him go.
This isn't really a rank 'em, Adam, but we got to ask you because people are wondering. Is the current quarterback on the Chicago Bears roster that will be the starter in 2021? The 2021 season.
Excitement.
He's thinking.
Pondering on his
what?
face
I don't
for
know.
those at home listening on the pod.
I don't know. I hope so. I think that part of me is like, I hope so. And I hope that Trubisky puts it together. And I hope that, I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I either want him to crush it or I want him to blow. I don't want to get into a Blake Bortles situation where we don't get a draft.
Where they extend him and he doesn't,
We don't get to draft a quarterback because, like, obviously we passed on Patrick Mahomes. Deshaun Watson's the one that you can point at. And I think if you're the Jags and everything, like, you guys, not you here, but you people out there thought that Patrick Mahomes was some gimmicky air raid quarterback. Don't front now like you knew he was going to be this generational talent. Deshaun Watson's a little inexcusable because he played for Clemson. Yeah. He played a national championship game.
Beat one of the best college defenses ever.
Thank you.
Like that always.
And they had him ranked as QB3. They had Mahomes 2 on their board.
That came out, Adam. That they ranked
came out that they had Mahomes number 2.
And then Watson.
And that shows you how much of a separator that they had, that they traded up one spot for Mitch. I mean, so it makes it even worse. I'm sorry to ruin you. Your wife's going to kick your ass, and now I just ruined the rest of your night. So
I love Adam Rank. Claudio, do you have a rank?
Well, I don't know how much time you have. You got a little time?
One question.
All right.
One more. Give me one more.
All right, one more.
This
all right,
is
I know you're in the pop code. DC or Marvel?
Oh my God, this is DC. Marvel sucks. The only Marvel character.
The shock.
Wait, not the movies. You can't say DC movies are better.
Okay, do you want to talk about recent movies? Like,
well,
I
mean, as a
really-
whole.
First of all, Marvel's still living off like their first couple, like Justice League and Captain America, the first couple, and then everybody and Iron Man. Those are great movies, but then they got really terrible, and they've been the last one that brought it all together or whatever. That movie sucked. DC has now been on quite a roll as of late. Obviously, in animation, their movies have dominated for years. It's not even been close. All the Batman movies have been great. The Joker was a good movie. Wonder Woman was great. Shazam was great. Black Adam.
Wait a minute. Shazam was great.
Come on.
I thought Shazam was very.
I mean, it was good. I wouldn't say great, but it was good.
Okay, it's a good movie.
Claudio's battling with you. Have you? You haven't met the barber. You haven't met the
because
barber.
I talk every. I mean, well, he won't meet the bar. He won't meet the barber.
Yes, he needs a trim up. Right.
I do actually have to say, Rank. I appreciate the flat bill.
Oh right.
You know, you're rocking the flat bill. This was
Let me tell you
this
something.
was a debate. This was a debate before.
This is the thing. If you want to wear a dad hat with a curved bill, buy one. You purchase these.
That's right.
This is the way.
I don't have the.
And the stickers.
I'm
You
a
keep the
dad
stickers
hat
on.
guy. I'm
You
a
keep the
dad
stickers
hat
on.
guy.
Then buy a dad. It's fine. I
can't
have no
do it.
problem with
I
that.
can't
Buy
do
a
it
dad
like-
hat. I see.
I
Listen,
agree.
I follow your Instagram feed.
Yeah, I'm a dad.
I know you're a dad hat guy. I wear flat bills. I grew up in the Inland Empire. Like,
But
whatever.
you can rock it really well. I gotta admit that. I do
That's
have
nice.
one
He does.
flat
He does.
bill. When you come on the next time during the season, I'm
right.
gonna rock the flat bill. You're gonna grade. Can I wear it according to rank?
All right. That'll
You
be one of
have
our
a
games.
style. If you're a fucking rank hater, then really go to another show. The guy.
Oh my
is-
gosh, am I getting hate on this?
No, not
Not
here.
probably.
No. Claudio's
fine.
supposed to be putting up the comments. He's been
Actually,
doing
I was told no. So
No,
I was told
now,
not to.
the
Well,
game.
all right,
Come on,
all right,
Claudio.
all right, all
The
right.
game is being played.
Well, I'm trying to listen to him. I'm trying
Adam
not to
is
be
the
rude,
man
you know?
on NFL Network. Look, he needs the
There you go.
love. His ego.
He's got a lot of love.
His wife's
Yeah, I
gonna
need
come
to-
at
I
him
need to-
like
I gotta
hard.
go.
He's
I'm
gotta
gonna
go.
I'm gonna get roasted here. But anyways,
We love you,
but,
bro.
but it was really important for me to make sure I made it to the first show. We'll have an extended run at some point this season. But thank you. Love you guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Appreciate it, man.
Bear down.
Bear down, Adam.
Give Jason Lockenforo my love.
I will.
I'm serious. I want to bury the. I want to bury the hatchet live on here.
We'll
with
get
him.
it. We'll do it. We'll do it.
God bless you and your family, and really, truly, thank you for keeping it 100 with us tonight, man.
Thank you,
All the
guys.
best.
Thanks,
God
Adam.
bless.
We'll see
He's
you guys
the
later.
man, guys. Adam Rank, the NFL Network's finest. Look at him. He's the man.
And there he goes.
That was awesome.
That was fun, man.
How
That
much
was
fun does he bring to the table?
Oh,
Claude,
yeah.
you're
We got the whole
learning.
show.
Claudio's learning on the go. Like when you play the games, then you could put the comments. The fans want to be a part of it.
No, but I'm talking to him.
flat
I don't want to be
bill.
rude. I don't want to be looking here, not listening to him. So, you
I
know,
don't
it's a little
what
hard.
happened to Claudio for a second there. He turned into the DC movie for a second there. But yeah, I didn't get to see anybody's comments, what they were thinking. Big Mac, Whopper, DC, comic, Joker versus...
Well, we got a lot of them. We got a lot
there
of
you
them.
go. So,
Well, see, I agree with Sean. I mean, Marvel's the comics. I don't read the comics. I've heard DC comics are way better than Marvel comics, but I can't, speak on that. I'm just going by TV shows and movies. I'm just way more entertained with Marvel. Although Joker, the newest Joker, was amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Someone
that.
said that. Oh my God, you haven't seen that yet? I've seen it
I have
like
not
5
seen
times.
it
was-
yet, but I will see it.
It was
coming
incredible,
soon.
but it's not. It's a movie that you don't even need to be into comics. It's not even about that really. It's just the acting and just the story was incredible. So
I don't know where
But that's-
Shane went, so it's crazy that he just bounced all of a sudden. I mean, is
I
that...
don't know. Maybe his wife came calling. I don't know. That's
So
why.
you
That's
have
why
some-
I'm doing it at your house. I don't know if everybody knows. I'm in
Claudio's
Phil's
in
garage right
the
now.
garage, the Ottochian garage.
That's why the lighting
This
is a little.
Yeah, we're trying. He's gonna get his studio set up. As
I'm
we
gonna be
move
at the
forward.
shop. I'll be at the
He's
shop.
gonna
I
be
might
at the shop. He's gonna
We'll see.
cut the cord at Dunkin' Donuts, as we said, with the noise.
Yeah.
We'll wait for Shane to come back, but you had a couple questions for me in regards to the Chicago Bears and the football this weekend, the kickoff.
Yeah.
No fans in the stands.
Yep.
We open up 1 o'clock East, 12 o'clock Central. I don't know. I don't do math really well, but I don't know what time that is in the Pacific. What time do they watch games? I should have asked that.
Well, if it's 1 o'clock, it'd be 10 o'clock. Over
10 in the morning. It's like you're having brunch and you get to watch the games. I do like when they play.
I kind of like
England.
that.
Here he is. The man's back. I don't know if he switched to a
There he
flat bill or something. He just bounced.
Wardrobe malfunction.
He changed his wardrobe. He's giving awards away. Listen, you don't get this kind of coverage anywhere else. You had Adam Rank on the show. Always keeping it 100 here, Shane. I'm excited. Finally, we're getting football, but I would be remiss if I didn't say how much fun that was to talk to Adam about.
He fits what we want and what we do here to a T. I mean,
exactly.
He's
a friend.
If you can remember, Phil, I was in Outer Banks on vacation with my family interviewing Adam Rank from the bathroom of the house that I had rented for the week during draft night. Do you remember? The night before the draft.
You lack commitment. Shane.
Yeah, lack commitment.
You lack commitment. You lack commitment. There's no loyalty from you, Shane.
I know. But no, he fits perfect. And, man, I've been on Twitter since, 2009. I've raked that dude over the coals, Jason LaCanfora. I mean, our next guy that's going to be popping up here that's in the green room now, he's witnessed all of the Twitter hate up front and personal of me throwing shade at Jason LaCanfora. So you get him on the Tape Never Lies network, and I think I can break some news here. Peter Bukowski and I have been
the dumbest tweet guy
have been talking, and we're trying to match up times, and he is willing to come on and debate on our little show, like he said. Yes, if we can match up the times to debate his disdain for our current running back, David Montgomery.
Look at that. That's breaking. So next week.
Yeah, we're
Peter Bukowski.
He's got a new baby, and we know how that goes. You know, dad duties. You just like we saw Adam having to keep the wife happy. So we're trying to match up some times here at night. But I'll reach out to him again tomorrow, and we'll try to lock in a specific time so we can talk some football. And he mentioned maybe he'd be willing to come back Packers week. So
that would be great.
Fireworks.
Let's see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I always see these Twitter tough guys. I've faced the music about my Twitter reasoning so many fucking times, but Twitter is Claudio's learning is a scummy place.
I know. I've never done Twitter.
Everybody has an opinion, and they all stink to me. And that's no offense to anybody in particular, because there are really great tweeters out there. I guess that's what we call them. But it's hard to find them. And I don't know how you guys do it. I prefer Facebook and Instagram and these things. But Twitter, I don't like guys that threaten to fight people. And
I mean, that happens on Facebook too, though. I mean, it's just people get
at least
keyboard
I know
warriors.
The person's there. I keyboard tough guys. But we're gonna get into the game day, and we're gonna bring on our guy here to talk about it. Yes, our resident nerd. They call him Cars tonight. Was there any?
He forgot the white tape in the middle of his glasses.
You were supposed to come on with your full outfit.
Glasses.
You're supposed to come on with the full outfit.
I can't. No tape on the glasses. My wife would leave me.
So, did you take any anxiety medication prior to this
Like a handful of edibles, but I think we'll be ready to roll. I don't think anything,
I need some hype coming out of your ass. I need hype, as asked our buddy John Tooch, the Tooch man. I need that passion for you. So let's get into this. We got breaking news. This is how we're going to do it, Cars, each and every week, and that's going to transition us into this.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
I hate to hit you with the Pat Finley double barrel question here, but I don't know how much time we have. So, Montgomery, can you share with us just maybe what his plan is for today as far as practicing? And with Eddie going on IR, is it safe to say that Cairo will be your kicker on Sunday?
Yeah, that's two good questions there. So the first one, the second one, I would say that, yes, it's safe to say that in regards to Cairo. And the first one, I would go ahead and tell you that I think that David Montgomery is going to have a hell of a stretch practice today.
The coach with some jokes there, but we did get some news, Cars. I know your keys to the game have to include your kicker. We've felt this before in regards to Eddie Pinheiro, dare I say, Cody Parkey, and so
we don't mention that name in this show whatsoever.
No.
Do you want to list any other names we shouldn't list on this show? Because I know you have a few names you'd like.
There are several. Somehow they're not related to the Bears, so that's probably neither here nor there. I don't want to disclose that information right now, though.
Okay, a non-disclosure agreement.
Yes.
Are you willing to sign that?
Yes.
Have your lawyer send it to us, Cars. We'll review it.
Yes. I'll have my people call your people.
Have your people call my people. I honestly, though, seriously, the kicker situation, Cairo Santos is starting. He's our kicker. He's been here before. It was Carlos Santos at that time.
That's improvement.
He was, 4 for 5, right, as a Bear, and then he got hurt. He jacked up his hamstring again.
He was a former Chief, right, as well, where he was very, I don't know his stats there, so I'm relying on you, Cars, to really bring your A game here in the kicking competition.
If I have to talk for like 20 minutes on Cairo, we're in a lot of trouble. No, I think he didn't look great in Tennessee last year. I mean, that's why he got cut from there. But I think what's interesting about him is he supposedly had a great practice, and since that's all we could go off of, it was at least at Soldier Field when he had it. So it wasn't like we're talking to Cody Parkey about, I don't kick at Soldier Field. I just kick wherever they want me. So, I mean, I'm not as concerned about it when it's in a dome. It's always at home where I think it's a bigger issue. So, just having a leg out there, I think, whatever. I don't think we're going to be kicking too many field goals against the Lions defense, so I'm okay with it.
Shane, you feeling good about Santos here? Because I'm telling you, this concerns me personally. I don't want to sway anybody's opinion. I don't know why I have my Bluetooth headset on there. Shane,
because that's a part of you. That's
why. You're supposed to tell me when that's on. It's been
because it's 1997 and Bluetooth just became a thing, so you got to wear it everywhere. And
I thought John Buffone was funneling questions to
you. Oh shit! You are a goddamn. I'm trying to get composed again.
Phil's laughing hard when the vein pops out of his head.
Oh my god! But yeah,
no, it's absolutely a concern. I mean, we don't know. We don't even know if Eddie Pinheiro. Yeah, there was a point last year where I remember tweeting out, "See you later, Eddie," because I thought he was done in Chicago. But now you have to start questioning his durability because he, Oakland at the time, before they went to Vegas, signed him as an undrafted free agent. He was making some kicks, got hurt, comes to Chicago. He was dinged up last year. Now you see him, he's dinged up again this year. And thankfully we have the expanded practice squads. So I don't know. I think it's absolutely a concern. But to Carr's point, kicking in a controlled environment in Detroit gives me a little bit more positivity in that situation, that he's not kicking in Chicago and it's, 26 mile an hour swirling winds. And, let's be real here. Robbie Gould says you can't just look where you want to kick it. You have to pick a spot. He used to say, like, from 40 and out, he would pick a spot up on the scoreboard to the right, depending on how the wind was, and that's where he would aim. I said, that's just something that you're going to learn with experience. But hopefully, once you're on IR, you got to stay on at least 3 weeks,
3
right?
weeks.
Yep. So
that's a good nugget there, because I really wanted to make sure we talked about that. New rules, IR, 3 weeks. Now, if someone comes up with COVID, I really wanted to ask you guys this. We'll bring Claudio back in here, the barber. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe he would know something.
I do know
something. If a player gets COVID and is involved with the team, does the team entirely have to get shut down? How is this going to affect?
I think they're calling it a COVID IR, so that it's a special thing where I think it's 2 weeks where they have to, get tested.
But if he's in contact with the team,
well, they'll just test everybody. They're going to test everybody every day, and then I think they're just whoever.
They do contact, yeah. So all the guys are doing wearables where they have contact tracing to understand who they've been in rooms with and things along that line. And then because they're rich and millionaires, they get access to quick tests, right? So they could be tested and results back within hours, and instead of having to wait for a week. So they'll know, and people will be on an accelerated test plan for those that had been in contact, so that they quickly identify who it is. But I think that's also why on game day we're allowed to keep more than 53 active just in case, right? So, they've got some just in case someone comes down with it at the last second.
Would you guys put another kicker onto the practice squad?
After this week, I would look hardcore at Matt Gay getting released from Tampa, because he's got the much better leg.
I think the Bears showed a little bit of love to him pre-draft that year, correct?
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
I think they talked to him a little bit. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that that's something that they should really look into. It's if it comes down to field goal kicker and Santos has to go out there and win it and doesn't, there's going to be a lot of questions in Chicago. But quite honestly, I'd rather deal with the kicker drama than the quarterback drama. So
yeah, let's hope it doesn't come down to a kicker.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I don't think
the
it will.
Lions.
Well, how confident are you in this kid? And is he going to be kicking off? Is O'Donnell going to be kicking off? Was that question asked?
Hey, if O'Donnell can handle it, I'd let him do it.
That's what I'm saying.
I would
paying this
limit
fucking dude all this money. Like, go out there and you're 6'4", you're an athlete. Let him fucking kick it through the back of the end zone every fucking time. It drives me insane about this Tabor fuck. You know that, even in the open. Like, put O'Donnell out there and let him boom that shit out the fucking end zone every time. Don't play around with a return and a possible injury or whatever, a missed tackle.
And worry about the angle of the kick so it's high enough so that your team can get there. Just boot it into the first row every time.
So
exactly.
So we're losing viewers talking about kickers too much there. So let's go to. How about you guys talk about the new? It is. But how about we talk about the new starters on defense? Johnson and Gibson. How are they going to do against the receivers of the Lions? What do you guys think?
Well, that was interesting because I want to talk to you two about it, because Brad Biggs reported on last week's show you guys shared with me, and I was completely disappointed because I don't feel comfortable, and I'm keeping it 100, with Deion Bush as the starter. So when I heard that Bush had won it, I'm like, that was the conspiracy for me. Like, is this Ryan Pace giving his pick the job? Is this Chuck giving his... Because Tashawn Gibson, to me, is such a valuable asset to this football team based on the tape. He's a ball hawk. He's physical. He's He's excited to play the game every time. You talk about the dogs. You talked about Pernell McPhee bringing that. This fucking guy actually plays with it. I don't know how much more excited. Buster Screen, to me, I don't know what fucking network of football tape study you watch, but Buster Screen is a phenomenal nickel corner.
Absolutely.
And he's got a phenomenal name, too.
Let's just get that fucking out of there.
And
I used to fight on the other network with fucking frauds writing fucking questions, not knowing shit about fucking Buster Screen. We're talking about a football player, and they're brothers. So that, and the only reason why I'm bringing that up, Shane, and Cars, and Claudio, is because that cohesiveness, when you haven't played in scrimmages, is going to come into play, especially when you're playing someone like Matthew Stafford. Talk about that.
Go ahead, Shane.
No, that's what it's all about. I mean, how many years have we seen? It seemed like every year we would get a new season would start. The Bears would trot out. I mean, you remember bringing in Brandon Merriweather when the Patriots. I'll keep it on. I was excited.
He did play with fire.
Yeah, and I mean,
he threw some
a little bit too much. Yeah, he was throwing haymakers out there.
He was that guy in the program that you picture out just like headbutting through cars before, car windshields before a game. Absolutely.
It's always back to cars for you.
It is. Yeah. It's all about my ego. Absolutely.
Yeah, he can fit into Brawl Network with the rest of his roid rage. But
but no, that's Haymaker Day. I'm loving this.
But that's what it is. You have to have the cohesion back there, and it's a position back there.
Vito.
Hopefully they do the right thing with Eddie and let Eddie do what Eddie does best.
Absolutely.
I don't want to see
I think putting Bush back there would have been too much of that alternating.
Me too. Yep.
Thank you, Cars. And now Eddie's having to cover for Bush. Is Bush ready? We've seen Bush. We've all seen Bush, I hope.
Well, yeah, we have Pornhub access, so we've all seen it. This is very much true.
It's always back to nerds. We've got Bush. Can you say that? Hold on. Let me get you in here. So, can you give it? We've got Bush.
We've got Bush.
I think
perfect. Look at
we can make his next promo from Revenge of the Nerds again. Isn't that Boogers?
Claudio is not keeping the comments going. Claudio, I'm gonna be on him like the guy with the backup coach. Like, you gotta back up. Claudio, get the comments. I saw Vito Fiella. Great job there. One take, Cars. We've got Bush. That is definitely. I love the fact that I'm relieved because Shane knows. Shane will always text me on Sunday and he gives me the fucking inactives. And then I get fucking pissed off.
Yep.
Shane always will tell me who's been injured first. And then I fucking get pissed off. Like today. Quinn's not practicing, this limited. Guys, there's fucking play. There's fucking play. There's
no shot he's not. Yeah.
There's no shot. He's fucking playing. Max playing. All of those guys are playing.
Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack are learning nothing in a Wednesday or Thursday practice leading up to week 1. I mean,
which is probably just a walkthrough too.
Exactly.
Like, let's be real.
Exactly.
Where it's like
it's not like they're
do this.
It's not like they're going live.
Yeah.
And you don't need them out there, and it's not like Green Bay's draft pick making plays all over the field as an edge rusher. Give me a fucking break. It's in your.
Which one was that?
Camp.
I just see that all of their rookies are third string or lower.
Yeah,
so
the kid from he's second year this year. It's
Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, Gary. So that's another one we'll have to talk to Peter about. Hopefully Peter's listening to our little show here.
Little show. 97 people. Only some of you watching don't show up. And we're trying to figure out that because according to Facebook, there's about 485 people watching on Facebook. So I don't know how these numbers, because in our corner, whatever. It doesn't even fucking matter. Go subscribe. Hold on. Let me do this the professional way. We are on everything now, Shane, in regards to our boys right up here above Cars, Shy City Sports, my boy Zach and Steven Johnson. Go give them a follow. And the message boards, I hear they're crazy. The message boards are crazier than Twitter. Remember those days, Cars?
Oh.
The message board crazy shit.
I don't know if he's listening, but if Apple fan is on, if you could just post some crazy trade or random pickup.
Or what about can we
life.
oil up the Trevor Lizer 2000 cars? Do you remember those?
Well, I mean,
days?
that is the problem with Cole Kmet. He's too tall to play the tight end.
Oh
position.
boy, yep.
I mean,
We haven't even gotten into Cole Kmet, but keeping it back, Gibson, we're all on the same page here. It's the smart play. Play the veteran. Play the guy that's going to allow Eddie Jackson to be Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
Play the guy
That's why
that
you made him the
plays
highest
with
paid
swagger.
safety in the NFL.
Exactly.
It wasn't for his play in bringing him up in the box. I'm not sure why Pagano ever thought that was a thing.
It was an interesting idea, right? Because the whole idea was to try to confuse people with looks. From that aspect, it made a whole lot of sense. But like by week 4, it was like,
over.
it's not a thing, right? Let's just go back. And HaHa's not even in the league anymore. So
Exactly. I didn't know if you saw the open where my dad. Did you get to watch the beginning?
No, I was watching TikToks to put kids into bed.
Oh, okay. Well, my dad comes on. I saw him this weekend, and he's like, "The tape never lies." That's what I taught my son. You're gonna love this next one. I say it all the time, Cars. Surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely.
If Claudio was on the camera now, I'd add him to the video. You got to surround yourself with good people.
Claudio texted me. He's watching.
There he is.
He's watching OBJ.
There
TikToks.
he is. He's coming out. Look at him. He was getting a drink.
That should make my dookie twinkle. That's all I can think.
Stealing another one of my.
Phil's paying me in Coke Zeros.
He's stealing another one of my Coke Zeros. I told him, when you come next week, you have to bring a case of Coke Zeros. He goes through like 7 of them.
You don't have the best one. The Coke Zero Cherry Vanilla is.
Well, that would have been a question for rank. We're going to have to do rank these with Cars. But my father said, you guys are great people. These fans are great people. And I think when you're talking about secondary play, you got to have great people and great communication, something we were lacking all the time, not only in the secondary, but on the other network. You got to communicate in order to be the best you could possibly be. And that's really what I think Screen, Fuller, Gibson, and Jackson bring to the table. And now, Claudio, you asked, the rookie, Johnson. And before we get into him, let me just give you this professional segue. People listening on the podcast version, you've asked, guys watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We are everywhere, not only with Shy City every Wednesday night here, Keeping It 100, sponsored by ShyCitySports.com. Check out their message board, go over to the Facebook, but also you're at the Tape Never Lies Network YouTube channel. So that kind of causes confusion. So if you're peeps of the 100 crew, you go in one area and you talk there. Game Planet. You're in another Facebook chat, you're there. But this podcast version now can be found here.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shane.
There you go. We're everywhere. And Cars and Claudio, too. You guys are on. I've been producing all day with voiceovers. I'm producing special intros, Tooch, for Claudio the barber.
We had a new female fan watching our show today, Phil.
Did we?
Maybe Cars can fill us in on that a little bit more.
Go ahead, Cars.
Yeah, my wife actually.
Deezer, that's right.
My wife tried to give the show a watch. She said one guy just talks way more than anybody else. I didn't ask for any specific
I know. I'm sorry.
details.
It's my fault. I had my first question for rank that I read about 3 days ago, and I didn't get to fucking read it. So I'll have to save it for next time.
Well, he had a short time, so I had to play all the things, and then.
You're good. You're good. We just have to listen. Brothers give each other shit all day long. It's what
do
you
I
do.
give you shit?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't give shit to anybody I don't like. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I'll call a spade a spade. I'll keep it 100. Like, this guy's a punk ass bitch, or this person is a fucking hater. He's scum. I'll keep it 100. I don't give a shit. I'm bringing anybody on the show, any network. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell them right to their face.
Yeah. I'm usually very reserved and keep my thoughts to myself.
Especially on Twitter. Like, I really wish you would pick a stance on
Shayne
Twitter
is
on some
similar.
of these.
I don't kiss anybody's ass to get a fucking follow or share my show.
Let's not talk about great
saying,
brands. Let's talk about football.
Let's get back to the defensive
I just don't. I
backfield.
won't. You follow this show for one reason. You want to keep it 100 and keep it football and the Bears. That's what we're going to do. There's always jokes. There's always banter. We've had people quit the show, Claudio. I hope you're not the next one because they can't take the heat. They got to get out of the garage.
Just getting loose. I'm just starting.
Look at it.
Yeah, if you can't take ball busting, you're not going to fit in on this show at all.
Exactly.
At all.
I'm a barber, man. Trust me. Barbers get their balls busted all day long.
Well, there
it's
you
all
go.
good.
The podcast you heard everywhere now. Deezer, Claudio's favorite. I found out. I did research. Deezer is like the iTunes in England and Europe. So there you go. Deezer across. Right. And we have a big...
And you got fans there. So.
We have big fans in Europe and across the pond. I'll shout out John Bradley and his champion son, my boy. He deserves a huge shout out for the love that he has shared and the fucking loyalty he has shared for the Tape Never Lies Network and you guys and myself. So he's from across the pond, thus that. But back to Johnson, guys. This kid, again, we kept it 100 last week. None of us would have taken Cole Kmet. I would have taken a pass rusher and Hamler. That's probably what I would have taken one of the pass rusher that was on the board. That's keeping it 100. This kid Johnson had the injury, but listen, the attacking of the football. Listen, Kyle Fuller, you guys know how I feel about the guy. I loved him more than anybody else. Shayne could attest. Franchise tag him. Can't let him walk. I was proven right. Brawl these nuts. I was proven right because he is a franchise player. And he has one weakness, Shayne. He catches the ball. You got to just catch it, Kyle. You saw it happen in the Green Bay game. You've seen it happen.
That was the fucking walk-off. That was the walk-off. And what a statement win that would have been. But, yeah, you talk about it. But, you know, the thing about it is he rebounded and he had one of his best seasons. And I think from everything that I've heard and read, Kyle Fuller has probably had the best camp of any Chicago Bears player from what they've said. And I think that's
awesome.
That is
extend that to Jaylen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who's the one that Jaylen sits next to?
Yep.
Goes, that's the guy I've got to watch. Like, you piggyback those two? Hell yeah.
And that's the thing. What is one thing that they say, and maybe a lot of the people don't know this, but Kyle Fuller is the guy. You know, Josh Woods has been on with us numerous times in the past. Kyle Fuller is the guy when they go out to eat, he'll put in his order. They're sitting there at the table, and they look down, and they always thought that he was staring at his phone, and he wasn't. He was watching tape. If he had 10 minutes, 15 minutes of free time, he was watching tape. And that's your guy that's got his generational money. You know, he was a first-round pick and then cashed in because of his play. You know,
he said he would do that at dinner. He would would go out to dinner. He'd bring a tablet with, and when things settled down, he was watching more film at dinner.
That means something to you. I mean,
it does.
If you study the tape and you're already talented to make it to the NFL, and if you put work into your craft, I've always said that. Exactly, MG Blazer. Be obsessed.
Yes.
Don't just fucking talk about it. Be about it. It's your fucking brand, yourself. You're in a team sport. You only can work so hard on yourself that you hope everybody will follow the leader.
Yes.
And Kyle Fuller has been a fucking godsend to this team, right, Lady Bear?
Yeah,
but think about him like 3-4 years ago when he sat out with a wimpy knee injury and you questioned his heart. Like that 180 is one of the best.
They almost
Bears
traded him to Philly.
Yeah,
they almost traded him to the Eagles.
You in Philly.
Yeah.
Is my boy Brandon J in here? I know.
Story
he's a
of my
big
life,
Eagles
dude.
fan.
I wanted Jalen Hurts. Where does he end up? Philly. But no, and he is the exact type player that you want the next guy that's going to ascend to that cornerback 1 status to learn from. And Jaylen Johnson, we all talked about this. Cars, you and I had this conversation the other day offline about Jaylen Johnson. Never can question his talent. Ever.
To bring this up, Jeremy Foyer, that comment right there, he signed the contract with Green Bay. Can I take this, Shane, and
go ahead.
speak on?
Absolutely.
Listen, you are in charge of yourself. Shane and I learned this
It's
the
a
hardest
rough
way.
lesson to learn.
It is
right?
a rough.
Yeah.
You need to understand that you got to take care of yourself because people are cutthroat. There's a lot of fucking assholes out there. That's the truth. There are people that can give 2 fucks about loyalty or whatever.
Most people are that way.
And teams are the same. It's a business. You have to, Jeremy. Kyle needed to go take care of Kyle and his family.
Yeah.
If that meant signing with the arch rival nemesis, for the fans that sucks, I get it. But for you, it's what you needed to do. And really, that's the impetus of what you do. And in a business, you have the shot based on the rules. I think they might be getting rid of the franchise tag or something like that, I heard. But the reality is, Kyle had to do what he did. We can't, as fans, as analysts, hold that against him at all.
And it's a poker game. Chubbs has this comment here that Claudio just put up. Green Bay was trying to take away a quality player and make us pay good money. Thing about it is they were hedging their bets that Kyle Fuller, if you notice, Kyle Fuller's biggest year financially to the cap falls this year coming up in 2021. And what were the Bears expected to do is to have the new money for Mitch that would have also hit the mark, hit the Bears cap the same year. So that was their thinking there. But another untold story that a lot of people forget or didn't know about it was the Bears matched the offer to Kyle Fuller almost instantly.
Exactly.
The news broke, and within
look at this comment here, Shane.
25 minutes.
Absolutely.
Rick nailed it. That's part of business.
But this is the kicker. This is the game that's played. Green Bay gave him that money, so that money is set aside and earmarked for Kyle Fuller. Pace comes out immediately. We're gonna match it.
Yep.
Chicago didn't sign the paperwork for 5 or 7 days. So that's 5 or 7 days that money is earmarked for Kyle Fuller for Green Bay that they can do nothing with. That is earmarked for Kyle Fuller.
Point.
Yeah, that's
a little.
That's the poker game. That's the poker game, and that's where that's D's are nuts. That's what Ryan Pace just pointed out. D's are nuts right here.
That's the TikTok that my kids love, right? It's fuck you, Tony, and then what's your name? Fuck you, Ezekiel, right? Like that's exactly what that was. Like you want to try to screw me over? Absolutely. Good luck.
Yep.
Now I'm going to screw you, and it prevented them from potentially having other guys to sign. That was it. It was a fun little chess match.
There's a game within a game there, and it's Pace knew how to play it, and he played it well. You wait until the last possible second, and have them hold up their money.
Well, the kid.
Absolutely.
Let's get into Johnson real quick because
He's a dog, man.
You get into Kyle Fuller. I mean, I could talk for an hour. I mean, it's a credit to Ryan Pace and the defense to see what kind of player you let growth. Kyle Fuller might be a mirror image of Trubisky. You know, what you said. Shitty, people criticizing it as a bust. You heard it. Trust me. How do you handle that when no one's looking?
Yeah.
All we can go on is what the coach is saying and what, Mitch has done. He's won the competition. But that being said, the rookie has jumped into the starter. Last time, cornerback is one of the hardest positions that you're going to find on the football field. But it's also one of the most elegant where you can find rookies that can step in there and play it because it really is immensely based on athleticism and talent.
And demeanor. You have to have the correct demeanor at that position.
How many times? What was the kid from the Falcons took him? Oh my God.
Trufant?
Not Trufant. I was so pissed. You just saw it right on tape. Small school kid. He was from San Diego State.
Oh, is that
what's his name? Kusi. What was his name? My mother.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about. It was a second-round pick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It took me 12 seconds to watch one tape, and then I go to the next one. I'm like, this kid is gonna be. He has that dog.
DeMonte Kazee.
Thank you. KZ, watch this KZ play. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's got what Shane's talking about, the button that he could press and say, fuck, I'm going to go against you, and I'm going to get beat once, and then the next 3, I'm going to fucking lock you down, and then I'm going to get a pick. Johnson.
Yeah, you can feel that permeating off of him in his press conferences.
Absolutely.
They're like, will you be starting? And he goes, yeah, that would be true. I will be starting. You know what I mean? He's not loud. He's not boisterous, but he'll be that way on the field when he makes a play. And Cars, another thing that you brought up, our guy at number 50 is starting week 1. The number 3 pick in the draft for Detroit, he's not starting. And that's that. Our guy had the injury concern. And hey, listen, you can't deny.
That's still there.
Yeah, you can't deny Akuta's talent, but I don't give a shit. You draft the guy number 3 overall. If it's not a quarterback, I don't give a shit. They need to be starting on the field from fucking day one, or it's going to raise some question marks. I know that cornerback is a tough position to play, but this
you
game
can't have. When you're 3-12, you can't afford to have a number 3 pick sitting on the sideline.
Totally agree.
Absolutely not. No matter what position it is you draft.
Yep.
I don't know where Lions fans come with this confidence they have.
Well,
what else do they have? What else do they have?
The great white hype.
Before I go into a Lions rant, the nicest part about Jaylen is, though, Prince was a terrible man cover guy. Absolutely terrible. He was solid. Solid is probably being a little generous zone-wise. But now you sit down and you can go both of your corners starting off man to man. You can do things coverage-wise that really is going to put stress on an offense, right? And we always, you used to get upset over our old offensive coordinator, who I will not say his name, right? Saying you just take what the defense gives you. Right? You don't want, sometimes you have to call plays that they give you. Well, now as a defense, we're going to make that much more difficult.
Yeah.
And the way that we're going to be able to use him and cover schemes and make it look like man in its zone, make it look like zone and make it man, right? Pass guys off. To Phil's point earlier, Gibson's a pretty good cover guy. If Eddie Jackson was a nickel corner, he would be the best nickel corner in the game. And so now when you trot out what I think is going to be starting 4-2-5, you've got 5 guys with man cover skills across the board. And that's insane. That's an insane change for
today's NFL.
Were you shocked that they let our guy go, number 22, my boy?
I was. I had, even the touchdown that he got burned on, he looked fundamentally sound. I mean, Tolliver looked and always had the skill. But if you look and read what happened at LSU, right, it was the mental aspect of the game that he struggled with. And
yeah, it seems like Tolliver was trying to play a role as one of the big dogs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And wasn't there yet. Like kind of like, oh, I'm in.
You carry my shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you heard Sean Desai and a couple of different coaches make the comments. Is you have to learn how to be a professional.
Right.
You have to learn how to study tape. You don't have to worry about that with Kyle Fuller. You don't have to worry about that with Jaylen Johnson. And that's how you get pushed out of the league. You see, hey, Vic knows the kid. Vic knows the talent. That's why Vic picked him up.
Great practice squad player for Vic. Absolutely.
And hey, I was screaming from round 4 to round 7 the year that Tolliver came out to draft the kid because I believed in his talent. And then when they got him as a UDFA, I was elated. You can't deny the talent, but as we've seen, and I know that's probably going to fire people up in the chat room, but so be it, with me question the mental part of the game with Mitch, it's not just Mitch Trubisky. It goes to every position. We've seen it. I think you can throw Tariq Cohen under that umbrella. I think Kevin Tolliver, you can talk about it. And I'll be quite honest, and this is one guy that we haven't talked about and we need a big year from, is Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith needs to make more fucking plays. He does.
It was Anthony Miller up until last season too. These were young guys that were big names when they were on campus. And obviously, tooling around in boats with Pornhub porn stars isn't probably shout out to the second mention of Pornhub for myself.
There's been a lot of Pornhub, man.
Well, I am married. You have to worry about the mental side, right? It takes some guys a little bit longer to get locked in, right? I mean, you're not going to get by on talent alone. The NFL has been filled with corpses of guys who are tremendous athletes who, when it came time, couldn't put it together on the field. Yeah. And so, shout out to Alex for the quote of the day. But that's absolutely, where Tolliver sits, right? Like that's it. You gotta show that you're the part. And football holds more people accountable than your job, my job, anybody else's job. If you don't walk that line, you're gone.
So our corners.
Well, just a minute. Let me address this with Chubbs because I'm not comparing Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith is infinitely more talented, Chubbs. Yes, that's a given. But there's also, we can't sit here and say that I don't think Roquan's lived up to expectations from where I expected him to be.
Absolutely not.
No, and I mean he needs to have his head on straight. If it was just an injury, then he tore his pec, and I get it. He needs to be more focused on what's on the field. And when he did play, when he had his little respite there, when he came back, what did he have? He had like a string of 4 or 5 games with 10 plus tackles and was making some plays. But I need to see Roquan Smith making more impact plays, not just making tackles. He's drafted
living in the backfield.
Yeah,
living in the backfield.
He's a top 10 pick. I'm not drafting a top 10 pick to make tackles everywhere on the field. Yes, that's a byproduct of it. I need impact plays from this guy. And that's the thing. We do forget he's 23 years old, Roquan Smith. It feels like he's a lot older than that.
I think the miss on Chubbs is the reality that you're saying that you're holding Roquan to the level of a starter to make plays consistently, not comparing him per se to Tolliver.
No, we're talking about the mental aspect of an NFL game. It has nothing to do with talent.
Roquan, personal reasons, everybody was ready to run him out of town. The Bears handled that weirdly. We've never really gotten an understanding. Personal reasons, granted, they're private, whatever. But in football, when you're inside backer with the Bears, there's obviously has to be some sort of understanding of what's going on. On top of that, his play took a back step or 3. And it was very obvious that mentally he was checked out, and physically he wasn't the performer that you, I, and everybody else saw that was taking a step forward in the football on that team. So with Roquan, now, when Coach, I got to say this because we never got to address it because it's preseason, but when Coach, like, he's in the best shape of his life, and we're seeing pictures of him on the
He didn't look like it.
He looked like he was out of shape.
He had my body. Yeah, dad bod was going on right there.
He had a belly. Absolutely. He was drinking Coors like he was on.
And that's the
Cobra
thing that
Kai.
I think that we've seen even pre-Nagy is the Bears put things out there publicly because they try to speak things into existence
exactly
that aren't there. And I've never understood that. Hold them accountable. You know, you need to be in better shape. When Matt Nagy came out and said that he's in the best shape of his life, that must mean that he was really, really out of shape before. I can remember having a talk with Ryan Cox. I'm like, dude, this guy's got man boobs in that one fucking picture. You know what I mean? It's a fucking middle linebacker in the NFL.
I think though some of it is right. Nagy's a player's coach, right? So what he says to you and the fan is like, I'm going to protect my boys. We have no idea what gets said, but
right.
Listen, if you had told me 2 years ago when we drafted him that Tremaine Edmonds would have been the safer pick, I would have laughed.
I had them. I can put my thing up there. I had them ranked neck and neck. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds was a 19-year-old. I don't know how the fuck you could look at him playing at Virginia Tech and not be like, holy shit. And I mean,
and you watch what he's done. It's been
Buffalo.
Insane.
Yeah. And I mean, he was younger than Roquan coming out. Roquan was a 20-year-old guy coming out, and
Well, Roquan had the polish on tape where you're betting. It was almost like the Mahomes thing or Brian Urlacher. There was a lot of comparisons, which it was fair because you were essentially saying and projecting, is he going to be a pass rusher? Is he going to be an inside backer? Yeah, because of his length. He's proven that when you see it, you got to believe in your eyes. And Shane, you were all over that. I was Marcus Davenport 100% because we had a piece of shit playing edge, and that was Leonard Floyd. And people, I don't know what it is about Chicago Bears fans. It's easy for them to attack like a quarterback, but it's not easy for them to attack a guy like who's playing shit on tape. And the tape never lies.
Did you watch his 40? I mean, his 40 was amazing. Exactly. It did wonders for Mike Mamula's career.
The guy was horrific on tape. Anyway, that being said, we're all the way into Roquan. We were on Johnson. Johnson, to me, I'm super excited to see. Yes. I don't want to see people...
Before you move off of him, Phil,
off of Johnson.
I just want to say
he makes one bad play. Who?
I want to say I want to talk about Jaylen Johnson before we close that part of it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I made this comment. I think it was to Cars in the text. To me, he can be the next foundational piece to this franchise. He can be the next guy that Bears fans are looking at and being like, all right, that's the fucking guy. I mean, we obviously know that Mac is going to be here. Hicks, if he continues to stay healthy, is going to be one of those guys. He's going to be, and this is what we need. Roquan needs to be the foundational piece. This is a huge year for him. This is a huge year for 58. Jaylen Johnson is going to be that next guy that is going to continue and stretch out the window for the Chicago Bears defense. I truly believe that. It all depends.
He's got bigger than Fuller. He's got bigger than Fuller potential, right? And I see someone like
upside's way higher. Yeah.
The next Peanut, I think, like if you look at this, I love Peanut. He was great at forcing fumbles, right? Mm-hmm. He forced some turnovers, but like Jaylen is a guy that's going to create more turnovers off of interceptions than Peanut did. Yeah. He's going to be just as physical as Peanut was in the run game, like all those important things. But like as a pure cover corner, Jaylen's potential is way higher.
I think and he was the young guy coming out too. He had like literally just turned 21 like the week of the draft. So he's going to be 21 this entire season. He's the guy that can take over for Kyle Fuller as cornerback 1. And Phil, we've talked about this for years. Kyle Fuller is the guy, if he does lose a step, he's the classic fucking guy that you push backwards.
Yeah,
that you can push him back to safety. And he's that type of guy because he's gonna put in the work. He's physical.
He's doing
exactly.
the work. You don't push aside guys that are talented that also put in the work. I think of Rod Woodson. Guy had so much talent. He could play quarter. He could play safety. Well, with Darryl Green, more of corner. I think with Kyle, like Rod, physicality, he could go back and then resume his career playing safety too, to Shayne's point. So that kind, like homegrown talent that has been in this, that knows the game, the Bears and the city, and this. I mean, you barely ever hear Kyle Fuller interviewed or speaking. The guy is a quiet storm.
He plays golf and he watches tape. And one more point before we do close out the secondary completely here.
Well, there's two other guys, Buster, not Buster.
I just want to bring up one more rookie, and I know Cars wasn't as high on this guy as Kendall Vildor. I think that them moving away from Kevin Tolliver was made a lot easier because of the growth that they've seen. I mean, if you want to see Kendall Vildor, go watch this dude when he played the big boys in college.
He always stood out. When you see a small school kid standing out against the big boys, do they do it consistently? He did. Does he shine? He does. Is he physical? He has the physicality.
I believe it was an Ohio State game, wasn't it? Ohio State.
Yeah,
it was Ohio
and
State.
You watch it and you're like, how is this dude not playing for Ohio State?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's a Georgia Southern or wherever the fuck it was.
Remember my boy DeMontre Hurst?
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to stick his face fucking in someone.
You need those guys.
You need those guys. Exactly. You got to have corners that are physical, that are not afraid. I don't know what Duke Shelley is.
Me neither.
Vildor, to me, I really feel like something.
Did you see in 1920 there the video there, the series that the Bears are putting out? Did you see Shelley when he was matched up with Cole Kmet on that? I mean, it was so ridiculous.
I didn't see it.
Cole Kmet's a fucking monster. And then there's Duke Shelley, and you could just tell he was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He put his hands on him, and Shelley gave up. He was like, "I'm done." Like,
Are you excited about Cole Kmet? Are you excited about this football player?
Oh yeah, I am. And
over the moon. I've gone full Homer. I have gone full on Homer over Cole Kmet. It's ridiculous. I will have his jersey at some point this season.
I don't know if you're being serious.
No, I'm dead.
I agree.
I am dead serious.
He said, Phil, last week on the show, I asked Cars flat out if he would would he still make the pick at 43? And he's like, he said at the time I wouldn't have. That night I wouldn't have, but I've switched up and I would make it.
Listen. He's not going to be, a Kittle. I'm okay with that. But this position,
Kittle wasn't Kittle in year one either.
Yeah, but I mean, like if I watch Mark Andrews at Baltimore and what he did, and you're just talking about like good yards per catch, good in the pass game, good in the run block game, right? Like that level of importance. This is a player we have not had since. Greg Olsen probably in that regard. Yeah. Greg started off really bad in blocking, but got significantly better as that went along. And it made the Bears offense that much better when you're like, he's on the field. He might be catching a 50-yard pass, or he might be blocking, for a run game.
Look at Cars turning up the page, going into the Cole Kmet fan club.
Huge.
Claudio's there too. Look at him.
I'm all in.
I am.
I'm all
Notre Dame produces some pretty good tight ends. And,
another young player, man.
No,
just I think turned 21.
All right, real quick.
I won't make the. Yeah.
Will Cole Kmet score on Sunday?
Yes, I have him scoring. Absolutely.
Yeah. I made the comment. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago on a preview show.
Yeah.
The Bears had one pass to a tight end. Over 20 air yards, correct?
Yeah,
Cars?
Correct. That's correct.
I think they go over that in the first quarter. I think they beat that in the first quarter to their tight ends.
So there's 40.
Or in the first half. I'm sorry, first half.
First half. But is he going to score?
Yes. Yeah. I think he's got a chance to lead the Bears in receiving touchdowns. I said I think he can. I think he's got the ability to have 7 or 8 touchdowns as a rookie. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to put up the huge numbers because rookie tight ends don't. But I think he's going to. Phil, we have the ability to go 3 tight ends, 3 tights down there now.
Are you comfortable? Are you as excited as I was? Are you on the level with Jimmy Graham now? I saw someone.
No, that's my thing. I was not a fan of the Jimmy Graham signing. I understand that he can be a huge asset in the red zone by not even catching a fucking pass.
Right.
That's the thing. That Cole Kmet is the same fucking way.
Where is RoboCop?
But to your point, Phil, if you look, which I know, I'm sorry, it's a statistic. You're just going to have to deal with it.
I'm going to eat these statistics.
Jimmy Graham was one of the best tight ends yards after catch last season. If you look at it, he averaged almost 7 yards a catch. Go look at the
Seattle game in the playoffs.
After that. Yeah,
let me say this about Jimmy Graham. Going back to what I said about Kyle, Mack, Hakeem Hicks. We don't have the dog. This motherfucker is a dog.
I think they have 2 at the tight. I think they have 2 at the tight end position now.
We lost it with Long. Absolutely. When he was a shell, we lost that dog.
Yeah, when he became a shell of himself, he became a
You may not
poodle.
think that this matters, but Phil, you guys, we've all been around sports our entire lives. We've played on teams, everything. There's going to be people that don't think that this matters. When that clip of Cole Kmet walking up to fucking Nagy and punching him in the chest, and he's like, "God damn, man, that's a confident motherfucker."
I can't wait to watch Kmet because you guys know this isn't made up shit. Shane will testify. He calls me out. It's both of these two cars. Well, all 3 of them.
Never. That's never happened. Show me
George Kittle was my fucking wet dream of a tight end. That's who I wanted. We got Adam Shaheen. Cole Kmet. There's something about this guy. I got to keep it 100 that I feel like he was my number 1 tight end. Yeah. But there's something there that I honestly think. And I'm a coach first, then a scout, then an entertainer, and all that shit. But coaching in my head, I really think the presence of Jimmy Graham has made this kid even more lethal right now.
I agree. And
confident-wise, offensively.
Let's not pretend like Chicago hasn't done this before where they settle on a fucking player very, very early on in the draft process.
Our Chicago Bulls, for instance.
This has been a Ryan Pace staple where they've fucking locked in on a guy. I mean, they knew who Cole Kmet was, obviously, before they got to free agency. And they listen, we didn't know what their plan was.
Yeah.
They knew they had the blueprint of what they wanted to do. They had the process. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to sign Jimmy Graham. My biggest thing, what turned me off to Jimmy Graham was I just thought that, and I know, Phil, you don't want to hear about this shit. I thought he was reckless with the fucking money because I just don't feel like Jimmy Graham was going to get that fucking money from anybody.
Probably. I mean, it's free agency. That's a true statement. Even if he's worth every penny, you pay more in free agency than you do
I just think
else.
Ryan Pace, I think they wanted him so fucking bad. He's like, no, we're going to put this.
Say my first one? Fuck a cap.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it.
I'm just getting it out.
And I think this is the first time at the tight end position we've had a veteran guy like that come in when we had a young, tight end in the back.
Well, they double dip. They never do that.
That's what I'm saying. So
we filled the position.
Yeah. So I think that was a good
47 corpses that aren't in the NFL anymore, but we filled the position.
And that's the thing. We have a third tight end that I'm honestly just as excited about.
Exactly.
Demetrius Harris. I mean,
I'm a huge fan.
I don't think he's going to be a game changer, but he's going to do better than any tight end that we had on the roster last year.
I'm sorry, I'm the biggest Jesper Horsted fan of anybody, and
on the
outside
practice
of
squad, right?
And that's the guy I'm still, like there. In a normal year, Jesper makes your team, right? The depth of this tight end room is
really
now, right, that he's a practice squad guy because legitimately you've got 4 guys and Holtz is this weird kind of hybrid, fullback tight end position. We took a negative and turned it into what potentially looks just like a significant.
And let's be honest, if Horsted filled out the frame a little bit more and became a little bit stronger and showed a little bit more ability in the blocking game, I think he's easily on this roster.
If you watch his touchdown against Detroit
agree.
with the Chariots of Fire theme music behind it, it is just pure gold, and I can watch that for hours on end. And I think we've lost Phil, so sorry, we're not used to that silence.
I know.
So we
Guys,
had to
you can't be without me for
We can't be without
Phil.
We're not.
Trying
We're
to
lost.
set up.
What do we do?
What is that
I'm not
song?
used to the
Lost?
silence.
What's
Dun,
that dude?
dun, dun,
Lost
dun, dun.
without you. I haven't even done any parody songs yet, and Shane is so happy with that.
I love how we're about 100 strong right now.
Look
viewers.
at that. It's
We
keeping
got
it 100.
I mean,
That's just there. According to Facebook, there's 682 viewers, which drives me crazy.
But that's because, I mean, you guys are so knowledgeable. You guys go in deep dives into every position. I mean,
and we can count.
I don't know
to 2,
where else
Claudio.
you're gonna get and you can count to 2. Yeah, you're right.
But Phil, to quickly go back, when you ask, do I see Cole scoring a touchdown or Jimmy? Do you think that Jared Davis, Jamie Collins, or our old man Christian Jones can actually cover a tight end? Like, Detroit loaded up for the run this year. Yeah. That's what they're going to try to do that. They've got nobody. You're going to have Duron Harmon playing deep center field. They've got nobody.
What did I say to you yesterday? Their defensive line is a line full of Phillip Daniels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it legit is. You go
Phillip
Trey
Daniels.
Flowers, who's a massive, who is the Phillip Daniels overpay.
Yeah.
You've got Danny Shelton. You've got Ashawn, who I kept calling.
They have Deshaun. Ashawn's gone.
Whatever. It's the same player. Neither one of them's impressive.
Rams. But I think he's on, I think he did the COVID opt-out.
Yeah, he opted out.
Did he?
So you've got Nick Williams and, Shelton and Trey Flowers. Like, that, for a team that got 28 sacks, that looks to be awfully high for this year. So they're selling out to stop the run. Like, our tight ends should have a huge day, and I'm writing about it too. Don't forget, Anthony Miller last year had 3 plays over 20 yards in one game alone against this Lions backfield. That's terrible.
And Mitch hit him in stride.
So, I mean, if this is the game you start at, you never know what it's going to look at. But, like, this is the game that you pop off and go deep and push the defense and stress the defense. And we'll see very quickly how quick we've gone from touchdown to check down, or if it's finally back from check down to touchdown.
If Mitch doesn't look good in this game, then we're gonna have to.
It's gonna raise a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Well, you can't,
because his history against the Lions is good. He's ripped them apart.
You can't be quick to judge. I mean,
It is a preseason game. I mean,
exactly. That's where we gotta keep it 100 with our fucking fans.
You gotta temper the enthusiasm a little. I mean, these guys
even
are coming in.
if he goes out and lights it up, and everybody's excited, we still gotta keep it on the even because
you got to look through 4 games.
Exactly. You can't be fucking. Oh, he sucks. He played like shit. No one's played yet, so we're all gonna see with this offensive line. No one is going to fucking break it down like we are. I could guarantee you that. Shane and I, once again, for those of you just listening now, this Sunday, Bears Hour Live. We're going to be live right after the final fucking whistle. Probably bring on one of these 2 guys with us, breaking down. You know me. I'm going to rant. I'm going to get my fucking words out and rant about what transpired in the game. Let me run this little promo for this Sunday.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game. With host Shayne, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. Every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bears Hour Live.
Oh, shit! This Sunday, that's where we're going to be live, breaking it down. But right now, tonight, a little bit more business. Go over. We are a part of Shy City Sports. You see it right there above cars. They are totally supporting us, communicating, promoting, and being a part of this great thing we got going here, keeping it 100. And I'm going to get the voiceover on that as well. So if you're listening on the podcast, that was a Shy City graphic of Shayne's wife going over to the computer screen and pressing the Shy City button. That's what happened with that music drop. And one last business before we get to dumbest tweets. I know we're going to break down, give our predictions, and get the shout outs. I promise, Shayne, we are a 3-hour show. No more.
No, that's not what you promised me. You lying fucker.
Keep it 100.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, CastBox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shayne.
You gotta love the reggae vibe. If you're a first-time listener, first time you're watching the show, Shayne and I have completely made this network, the Tape Never Lies Network. If you're familiar with my video series, that is gonna come out after the first game. I'm gonna break it all down. Obviously, a big focus on Mitch, and then some critical plays. We got a bunch of stuff lined up for you. Please go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe there, go to the Facebook page, the Tape Never Lies Network. I'm getting rid of all the business, Shayne. Look at this. And
clearing out the computer. We've been running the dumbest tweets promo for about 17 minutes now.
I'm trying. I had to. You saw me share the screen. I don't know why. We're learning as we're going. That's what we do. I hope you guys enjoyed Adam Rank tonight. I thought he was phenomenal, and we had a lot of fun. We broke it all down. We're going to do the dumbest tweets, Claudio. Is that what you got planned coming up?
Yeah, of course. Let's do it. That's my favorite, segment. I think everybody's favorite segment. Let's go.
Please don't let me be on it. Please don't.
It's very difficult because I got to
let me be on it.
I got to press this button, and then I got to press another button to time it up, and we're going to do our best. If you're new to the network, Claudio, pay attention to how I'm doing all this stuff because this is going to be your job. If you're new to the network, you're a new listener, Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man in any bar room, library, film room, whatever it is, Shayne scours the Twitter sphere to find the dumbest tweets. And he doesn't let you down because he goes out and he finds a few good tweets too. So every week, no matter what, even Claudio, follow Claudio. Maybe we could put
TTNL Barber at TTNL
Shayne
Barber.
could make a banner or somebody could make a banner.
I'm just new to it. I think I only tweeted 10 times. And
Claudio's new to Twitter.
One like, I think.
Follow Claudio on Twitter. Help him learn the Twitter ways.
Teach me the Twitter ways.
We'll have a private conversation of who not to follow afterwards.
Trust me, I really because
Cars has a list of
me,
one.
I don't know if I should
Follow
follow them.
Cars list. Cars, you've been unfollowing a lot of people lately.
There's been a lot of muting. I emphatically love the mute button on Twitter. It is a newfound love. The unfollow button, though,
it's been hot.
It's just beautiful. It really is. It really is.
Dumbest tweets of the week.
Oh, yeah. The dumbest tweets of the week. This is very difficult for me to time this up, so I'm going to do my best to do my duty. What is that from? I have no idea.
That's OBJ's favorite code word.
Oh, did you?
That just
we got to
made
get
my
into
duty
that.
twinkle.
Holy.
That's all I can think of now when I see OBJ.
So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Is that loud enough for you, Shane?
That's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're testing. We're test driving. And it goes like this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris Sandlin is the motherfucking man, yeah.
He's the smartest man. He's the one who made the app that added the bullshit emoji. You don't have to worry about Shane, Cars, Claudio, Sandlin, Ryan Cox as a man or a friend. You never question their loyalty. He's the smartest man, and this is his dumbest tweet of the week. I tried to mute it, fade it. How do I fade it? There you go. We faded it. I'm learning, Shane.
Yeah, it's all right. You're fucking up my segment. It's not bad.
I'm sorry.
You
got some dumb tweets. You got the first dumb tweet.
Yeah,
this is where Claudio is going to come into play. Here it is, Shane.
Yeah. Nick Shepkowski, at Nick Shepkowski. Yeah, Jason Leisure sent out a tweet and said Bears GM Ryan Pace says the team's expectation for this year's team is to win the championship. And Nick Shepkowski replied with a quote tweet. He said he meant a state championship, and he feels a lot better about it now that North Central and Mount Carmel aren't playing this fall. I mean, listen, waste your fucking time. You want to compare this Chicago Bears football team to a fucking high school team, then you're a fucking moron, and you deserve the dumbest tweet of the week and everything that, negative that comes your way. It's fucking ridiculous. End of the day, this fucking team, with all the drama that they dealt with at the quarterback position, with ownership, with the GM, with injuries, everything at the end of the day, with questions with the coaching staff, with the quarterback, all of that, we still fucking finished 8-8. And there's people that are thinking that the Bears are going to regress by 5 games this year and finish 3-13.
What are we, the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't even know why you waste your fucking time tweeting out something like that. I mean, comparing them, saying, to a state, to a high school state championship team, it's just fucking ridiculous. Tweet something. Dude, Shepkowski, you have the fucking forum to speak. You have the followers. You have the contacts.
Can we get him on the show?
Put out something that's fucking worthwhile. Rather than your
so I could confront him on that
hokey bullshit.
Exactly.
And comparing the Chicago Bears to a high school football team. And I know technically you're not doing... What the fuck is your GM supposed to... If Ryan Pace came out and said, with this current roster, that, guys, we aren't really where we want to be. If we can finish 500, we're going to consider that a win.
5-11, boys. That's what we're shooting for. Let's do it. Yeah.
So Nick Shepkowski...
He thought he was funny, Shane.
Yeah.
He thought he's that kid when the fucking substitute teacher comes. all of a sudden has the big cock and balls.
Right.
He thinks he's so funny.
Braggs
Nick
would have been that guy if
Shevkowski.
he ever fucking showed up for school.
That is the tweet of the week. If you can just put that in tweet form right now, that is the tweet of the week.
So do you have some more dumb tweets?
Yes, I do, and I think you have them at your disposal.
Oh, I will put this up for you.
Mr. Bukowski.
Next week's guest, you're taking a shot at him?
I will. Hey, I think we should have him on for this segment, and I'll fucking read it right in front of his ass.
That's what I
promise
like about
the
you.
100 crew. That will not stop me
100 crew.
one bit.
Look, I like this setup of the
Yeah.
tweet. Can you do that from now on? So
Yeah.
we're all on it? Jazz hands. Wait, I gotta be on this.
You gotta do jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
There you go.
Look at this motherfucker.
Because you don't draft just for a year one.
So you see the quote tweets up top there, and it says, "Don't expect A.J. Dillon to unseat Jamal Williams anytime soon in Green Bay." And
Right.
Ian Kenyon quote tweets it and said, "If Jordan Love can't beat out Tim Boyle and A.J. Dillon can't beat out Jamal Williams, what the hell were the Packers doing on draft day?" Which Peter Bukowski fires off a tweet that says, "Well, that's because you don't just draft for year one." Well, yeah, Peter. That's why you're fucking writing off David Montgomery as a piece of shit running back after 16 games. You're defending your guy from fucking Notre Dame. I'm blanking on his fucking name now. Who was the running back from Notre Dame that Green Bay drafted last year in the 5th round? Dexter Williams.
Who's out of the NFL? Yeah.
Yeah, he had the juice. He had the fucking explosion, but he fucking fumbled the ball once he'd get through the fucking line. So, he was talking about David Montgomery. He wanted to bring stats to the game to show me why David Montgomery wasn't a good running back. And I said, well, Dexter Williams had 5 carries for 11 yards last year, Peter. So if you want to bring stats, those are the stats, and got cut. And he's like, well, it's not so much about stats, it's about draft value.
What is it about?
So what the
these guys, these flip-flops.
You tell me what is draft value? David Montgomery, the Bears traded up in the 3rd round to secure their guy. They saw a run on running backs happening. I believe it was St. Louis, took the kid from, Kentucky?
Yes,
and then Ryan
correct.
Pace made his move to go get David Montgomery. And if you notice, Devin Singletary went to Buffalo the very next fucking pick. And then with our original pick, New England took the kid Damian Harris at, I think, what was it, pick 83 at the time maybe, because we traded with New England and moved up. So how are you telling me that Dexter Williams in round 5 was a better value pick than David Montgomery, even if you traded up for him, when with all of the chaos that surrounded David Montgomery on the Chicago Bears offense at quarterback, questionable play calls on offense, all throughout this, no tight ends, offensive line in flux, and he still was very close to a 1,000-yard season.
Still.
And you're going to fucking tell me that a guy that ran 5 times in the NFL for 11 yards, Dexter Williams, that's even with the benefit of 2020 hindsight, mind you, and you're still telling me that he's not even in the league after 16 games, a 5th-round running back. That's horrible value.
Well,
even as a 5th rounder.
But listen, Bukowski also has tried to defend the fact that the Green Bay Packers have made tight end draft picks in the 3rd round in back-to-back years. And both of those guys are competing for the 3rd string spot as well. So legitimately, your first 3 picks are sitting there, 3rd string. I mean, Jordan Love is the greatest at hitting a bar somewhere near a target, but not the actual target out there. A.J. Dillon has the best looking legs, I guess, from a guy who isn't actually playing football when the picture is taken. And now they've also added 2 tight ends that won't see the field anytime soon. So it's not about year 1 or 2 or 3. It's about being cut and never making an impact on your football team.
AJ
Absolutely.
Dillon was my number 1 fullback, for the record.
Yeah.
It's the true story. That's where I projected him.
So
he's got the
Derrick
body.
Henry was my number 1 tailback over Ezekiel Elliott, for the record, Shane. Are we keeping it 100?
Yeah, Matt Miller said you're a moron.
Remember, Matt Miller said I was a moron because my number 1 back was Derrick Henry over Elliott. Hey, maybe I know a couple things about this guy. I don't know geography or stats and math, Matthew.
Right. But Matt Miller's got the Vikings winning the division. I mean, and the Packers being a wild card.
And to Phil's point about
break.
And to Phil's point about him breaking down running backs, Kadeem Carey did look good as a backup on a practice squad in the
I
CFL.
did love Kadeem Carey. If he would have stayed healthy, was there a guy that would run through a fucking
He did run
wall?
hard, yeah.
He ran
We love our
fucking-
third stringers as
Yeah, I
Chicago
did.
Bear fans. Like, we have just unnatural love for anyone that's, like, not probably going to make the team.
Right.
I want to get Kadeem on the show. That would be fun.
Yeah,
I'm going to reach out to him.
So Phil,
We have a last tweet, right?
Peter Bukowski made a return trip to Dumbest Tweets of the Week, and he
did?
has, he's been 2 weeks in a row. I think he was a clean sweep on all of them last week.
He
yes.
completely was, yes.
2 weeks in a row. But
Keep
we have
up the
one
good
more.
work, Peter, and maybe we will read one live in front of you next week. You never know.
Our last dumb tweet comes from where, Shane? A familiar face?
Drum roll. Put it up there.
There it is.
Greg
Whoa,
Braggs
takes up the whole screen in typical
Yes.
Braggs fashion.
Some need to focus on being better, not on always being right. And to which friend of the show, Greg Bragg, said, being right, while important, is not what's most important. Being respectful holds much more weight. Greg, and I put you have a little thing down there. You are so dumb. I thought that was fitting.
Greg.
My heart, it goes a pitter-pat right now.
Yeah.
It really does.
You can't make everybody happy, Greg, at the expense of others.
Oh, Greg.
He's trying.
Look at
though,
those
you know,
eyes
he's
looking at you.
He's trying to bring everybody together.
Those eyes
commendable.
show disappointment like I haven't seen.
Exactly.
And I know Greg's probably trying to preach positivity.
Listen.
In all of that stuff.
I'll let Cars speak on it first. Do you need to read it again, Cars, or you got it?
No, I got it.
Okay. I just wanted to bring it back up there. Did you want to denounce this theory, the Braggs rule? I know he took away something important for you in regards to video footage of camp.
I mean, again, let's not miss the whole reason we can't have a highlight clip or anything was shown by the 1920 clip of Josh Lucas saying we watch the Twitter feeds for guys like Greg. I think he specifically says we watch the Twitter feeds.
Did he?
For guys like Greg Braggs who record and share everything with everyone on the internet. So
worst tweet.
I mean, he took that away from us all. So every time I have to deal with a Phil and Shane text about how upset they are that we're not on seeing any live streams, it's Greg Braggs' fault, 100%.
Yeah. Listen, the way that life works is I understand you want to preach positivity. You want to make everybody fucking happy. It's not logical. It's not realistic. And when you have time invested in people that you know, that you have seen been disrespected or openly shit on, you can't fucking run back to the shitty well and fucking praise stuff when you know the fucking story. And this isn't just this isn't a where we came from story. So it has nothing to do with where we came from. Just talking in general. You can't bullshit and make everybody fucking happy. You have to be a fucking goddamn respectable person and hold your fucking value, Greg, as a friend. And I've been honest with you more than anybody, but you know how we handle it here. You can't go out and fucking pacify somebody to the public to make shit look good when it's not true. Don't kiss somebody's ass that's been a bad person because you want to be preaching unity. No. Condense your fucking circle and be better that way. Because when you do that, the people that believed in you, like me and Phil, it's fucking hurtful. And it's disrespectful. So if you want to be talking about respect, then fucking respect us. Because you're going about it the wrong way. Phil?
I was about to make a joke, but I don't feel comfortable doing that right now.
Listen. All of a sudden, I don't even know. Claudio has to leave the room because shit just got real.
Well, that's what we do here. I'm just saying. I love Greg, and I would tell this to Greg on the phone.
You're keeping it 100.
We're just doing it.
Dustin Reagan.
I don't agree with everything that Greg has said, but I've been honest with Greg. But Greg can't. It's impossible to make everybody happy.
Listen,
it's impossible. You can try to push uphill, and at some point the fucking rock's gonna come back down on you. And I'm just saying.
You know what?
Sometimes it's just better to remain silent on things and not include people that have been ridiculously disrespectful in the past. And like I said, I'm not gonna hold this against Greg for life. I'm sure we'll talk tomorrow because I'm sure he's pissed off at me right now. But that's what it is, and I'm gonna hold him accountable. That's what we do. I can't sit here and say that we're not going to. Right.
I gotta say this. I was blown away by your words. Because not only are they fucking true, and I can completely tell you this, there's nothing wrong with positivity. That's not what Shayne is speaking. What he's talking about is loyalty and friendship and integrity. And that friendship is important to Shayne, myself, Cars, Claudio. You gotta have each other's back. So I can't say anything more to that because I honestly thought you killed that in regards to integrity. Because keeping it 100, that's what we do on the show here. We've been through a lot. And I got emotional last week. I share my vulnerability. Some people don't like that. I don't give a fuck about. You don't have to follow us. I'm not worried about how many Patreon subscribers we're getting or how many views I'm going to get on the Tape Never Lies. I confidently know I'm going to bring the fucking best coverage ever. And the haters are going to hate. And you're going to talk about my burners. I've expressed that. I've talked about it. I made a mistake. I've owned that 50 ways till Sunday. And it's so sad to me that Claudio doesn't fucking listen when I'm talking. Don't put up a comment from nobody while I'm fucking talking. This is my rant tonight. Am I calling Claudio out? Is he going to be offended and quit? Is he going to walk away? No. The reality is this. Friendship. I don't know if I was going to share anything. But my father, those of you know, means everything to me. He taught me how to be a man. And some people out here watching, listening, lived a life. Racism is taught. Ignorance is fucking taught. We're lucky for wherever we grow up what color, what country, what city, what neighborhood, for God's sake. There's so much fucking luck involved. So you have to see through that to recognize the heart and the integrity of everybody involved. So I don't give a shit if people want to talk shit about me. All I expect is you to do it to my face. To do it and be upfront. And Greg has always been that way. That's the truth. I don't agree with Greg at all in regards to what Shayne is talking about. Let everybody, I'm going to retweet every asshole. I'm going to be friends with everybody. I don't do that. If you don't like it, go away. I turn the page on people. Don't try to be my friend when I know you're in a DM group talking shit about Shayne and Phil, who had nothing but integrity, loyalty, and class. You want to talk shit? Keep it 101. Let's do not 100, keeping it 100. Let's do that shit. That's disgusting to me. Keeping it 100. That's disgusting. Go back, gossip, share, talk. I keep it real. I believe in brotherhood. I believe in integrity. And I believe in every fucking person that had just an inch, just a fucking second to share or to like or to send a message to say, I really appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. What Shayne and you do. Thank you. From Lady Bear all the way down to the newest listener, to my boy Otis Nichols. Just speaking your truth. At some point in this country and in society, we have to do what my father said. Surround yourself with good people. I don't want some shit fuck that's going to be friends with everybody when some person is talking so much shit about me and Shayne and this person that you can't go off script and say, enough's enough. I know this dude. That's a good man. Because I would do that. And that's all I'm saying. That's all Shayne is saying. Everything's not positive in this world. We could try. I want positivity. Believe in Mitch. Believe the Bears are going to win. That's one thing. But when it comes to a disrespectful, sociopathic, all of these threats and all this stuff that you fully are involved in, know who you're dealing with and be forward with it. That goes for every person out there. Don't put yourself in a relationship or a friendship when they're only half-assing it. Because it's never going to change. And I could tell you perfectly honest. You guys played a prank on me. Greg wanted to even go deeper. And I cried fucking tears because I thought Greg was mad at me. I look back at that and I'm embarrassed. Doesn't matter to Greg. Doesn't matter to this person. It mattered to me. And that's the truth. There's no replaying history. So I know that I come from a straight, maybe I'm because I had a father. Some people don't and they don't know. But I know when you're a friend, and this, there's people, young people listening and everybody. You're going to speak. This show that's what it's about, keeping it 100. This isn't a fucking review on a fucking movie that we saw. This isn't that. This isn't a fantasy football show. This is about life. It's about the Bears. It's about passion. It's about vulnerability. It's about nerds. It's about jocks. It's about frauds. It's about phonies. It's about friends. And all I could say is this. We're at a new place. We've turned the page. I love what we're doing here. And I love these guys we're doing it with. And I have no problem sharing my feelings of truth. And
Can I say something in a minute when you're done?
I'm done with my rant. I wasn't expecting to even talk. We're in the tweets. We're in tweets.
Well, sorry, Carlos, before you say something. I put up that comment because, I'm trying to
You're trying to moderate. No,
I'm trying to moderate and to keep it 100. You guys, have your opinion and you have your feelings, and I just didn't think it was right to not at least show something of what
I don't disagree.
Who you're going at. You know what I mean? That's all. That's the only reason I put it up.
We're gonna bring him on the show.
To Greg's point, right? It is a slippery slope, and that he'll be on is one thing, but I think what's important is when you're, at least from especially what I know about you guys and from what I know about myself, when you're in that moment and you're working with people, you're dedicated to that, right? This isn't fake. Nobody fakes these friendships. This isn't something where you're kind of making this up. When situations change, people's opinions change. When you get information that you're not used to, right, or things happen, that's what they change. It doesn't mean that in the moment things weren't real, friendships weren't real, like positive moments weren't real. None of that is different, right? Like even with the former person, there's positives that comes out of everything, and there are negatives that come out of everything. So, what happened, we all have our different viewpoints on. I go a long way back with Shayne and Phil. No one has talked more shit about Phil and Shayne in this network more than me, because I've known them for 24 years. And I expect, very much the same. And it's because there's only so much time that we can go through all these ups and downs, where there's a lot more downs. And, I'm going on a ridiculous rant, so forgive me. But that stuff happens, but in the end, you want to know who's your real friend, who's got your back, right? And you're not fake in the moment, you're real in that friendship moment. But when something turns and it becomes real another direction, you go that direction and you just let it happen, and you make that separation.
Totally agree. And I'll say this, and maybe Phil will disagree with me, and I'll keep it 100. I texted Greg about 10 minutes ago. This isn't even about choosing sides.
No, it's not.
Not. It's just about you see, and like I said, I can't stress this enough. This isn't about where we came from. But you see people in the past that have done dirty shit. You don't have to respect them if you're a fucking friend to somebody. And that's what I'm saying. And like I said, it's not about, this doesn't have anything to do with Greg not coming with us. That's his prerogative, and that's
good on him for doing his own thing. Yeah,
none of that is about this. It's just you can't fucking love and respect everybody. And even if you're gonna take that philosophy, it's a no-win. It's a no-win. Because have Phil and I been perfect? No, we have not. We've not been perfect. But at the same time, there's been a lot of shit that's went on that was out of our control, where we were shit all over. And it's the problem there. And I already told Greg this. I don't understand when you know the truth and the entire story, where you throw love or adoration or respect to people that I just don't get it. You can't unite everybody when it's not going to come from their side either, because they've already been vindictive and fucking lied about stuff. And like I said, I can't stress enough, this isn't about where we came from. Just talking about in fucking life and in situations. And I still love Greg Braggs. And listen, Phil, you and I have been through a bunch of shit together.
Yeah.
We know that. And you and I have fought and disagreed on things. And I still love Greg like a brother. And brothers fight sometimes.
I love Greg Braggs. I could say that for a drop. I wrote songs for the guy. I've done everything I possibly can. I'm the one, according to him, according to sources, apparently I wasn't, but according to Greg himself, he wouldn't be doing podcasts if it wasn't for me, because I believe in the guy. That being said, Greg is a true person. I just don't understand the mindset. I wasn't expecting to talk about this.
He's got a comment. Phil says Phil is pissed about that because he didn't come with us, and that's what this is about. And that's, to me, that's me speaking for me, Greg. I'm not speaking for Phil. And Greg, you know that I've reached out to you about uncomfortable stuff to talk about. You and I have had talks about Phil. We've had talks about where we came from. We've had talks about you and I. And Greg and I are very, very similar in a lot of things. And this wasn't pre-planned to go where this was, but this is probably healthy way to get it fixed because we were hurt about this. And the thing, it has nothing to do with Greg going off on his own. We've wished him well with that.
I have nothing but support for Greg, and it has nothing to do with that. I think if you bring back the tweet, which I will, Shayne, I don't know what this comment is. Thank you. That's what the focus was. And Shayne's message was very loud and I wasn't expecting it. But for the listener, for the record, for Greg, we're not just bringing Greg on the show tonight because we don't want to go for another hour. That's the truth. Keep it at 100. We will bring Greg on our show. We've always said that.
Yeah. And like that, it was
there's nothing to do.
Listen, Phil, what did we say when we were talking earlier? You know, this isn't just a busting balls thing.
This is keeping it 100.
This is keeping it 100.
For the person that
this
doesn't understand.
This was not planned. I'm the one that bring the dumbest tweets, and I presented it to Phil. And this portion of it was not planned, but I just felt like once I started talking about it, I'm like, I can't. It's got to be addressed, and like
it's this show.
Yeah, we'll talk, and if you want to come on and
I'm talking about the past, Dan. Dumbest tweet, Dan. Here it is again. Being right, while important, it's not most important. Being respectful holds more weight. Well, where I agree with that in a minuscule grain of salt, the reality is the only way to get to being right is to be telling the truth. So being right is really more important, especially nowadays with, quote, fake news and manipulations and narratives. So it's important to be right and to speak truthfully on that. That's why that was the dumbest tweet that incorporated Shayne into.
And so, Phil, one more thing, and this will wrap it all up.
All right, go ahead.
Those were my dumbest tweets of the week.
Thank you. The dumbest tweets of the week. Those were the dumbest. Are you ready for the positive tweets as we move on? We'll bring Claudio back.
Maybe Greg will make an appearance in this one.
Claudio's heavy breathing. I had to put him back.
Because I'm trying to take it all in. I'm taking it all in.
It's all those Cherry Coke Zeros. It's all those Cherry Coke Zeros.
I'm all about positivity too, so, you know.
You can't go.
I'm learning. Third time ever talking with a microphone in my life, so we're getting there.
That's the
keeping
truth.
It 100.
That's the truth.
But
right,
I'm all about so let's get some good tweets.
Let's go to the good tweets. So we do it like this. Is it playing? No. It's not playing. There it is. It's playing. Okay. Oh yeah, Shayne.
Oh, yeah. I hope Barb Graham doesn't fucking hate me now, yeah.
He's the smartest man. He can make any man smile. He isn't afraid to say F too licky. Hey, guess who's QB1 for Chicago? It's that guy they call Mitchell David Trubisky. He's the smartest man. And these are his best tweets of the week. There you go. The best tweets of the week, Shayne. Number one up on the board. Some positivity for Claudio.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm even a big fan of this guy, but I got to give him some respect for his tweet here. Jacoby Brissett, Taysom Hill, Alex Smith, and Marcus Mariota are all getting paid more than Nick Foles to sit on the bench. Foles is getting paid $13 million less per season than Bridgewater and $3 million more than Chase Daniel. So that just gives you a little bit of perspective when you look, kind of widen your scope a little bit with these. Whoops. When you look at these other quarterback situations and these guys that are backing up and the money, but he does come with the fourth round draft pick designation, that we had to give up. But I mean, at least it does give some perspective, and that is one thing. Even no matter who would have won this job, I feel much better about the depth of the Bears quarterback situation than I have in years past.
Absolutely.
Gotta love the fact that this guy is a former MVP, Super Bowl MVP. They're going to brand that up on the board, and they're going to say it forever. And you have starting experience. The guys have been able to be healthy, but you're protected there in regards to what you have with Trubisky. Now, the positivity is Trubisky's your starter. You got Nick Foles, everybody with an inkling of a brain in regards to football, especially in Chicago. The backup QB in Chicago becomes the most popular guy. So in this case, you got Nick Foles there, and a lot of people are waiting for the failure of Trubisky.
That's just a Bear fan thing, right? Like, nobody's more popular in Chicago than the backup.
Right, and that's unfortunate because I feel like Trubisky's taken that step. We asked for competition. Nick Foles comes in here, gets the competition brewing, and now they're here together. So I think the investment by the GM in what this guy's tweeting, which is a really good tweet, is a showcase of the Bears being ready to play come Sundays in the fall, because you got to have, especially with COVID, now you got two capable quarterbacks and one you feel very confident in. And some people feel like Nick Foles is the better quarterback, and we're going to find that out. I know Claudio shaking his head.
Listen, how short of a leash you feel giving Trubisky?
I said 4 games. I think you get a full assessment of a football player, especially at that position, when it comes to 4 games under his belt, and you see where he's at in regards to...
Yeah, Nagy made the comment that once they make the decision, that's their guy, and they're going to roll with him. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't... If
you have a preseason, you have 2 games, right? Like, if you have a preseason, you've seen more live snaps when a pass rush is coming in. You might shorten it. But
not last year. Last year, the starters didn't play at all in the preseason.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but you got 4 games, and at that point,
I just think if we go, 0-2 and he throws, 7 picks, I just don't see how week 3 we're not talking about bringing Foles in. That's just my opinion.
It would have to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty like to your point, you throw 4 interceptions a game for the first 2 games, you're probably not showing up. But if you're, kind of in between, you're going to get the full 4.
Well, you gotta perfectly assess this based on not only him winning the competition, but also what we talked about earlier with rank. You want to assess that position so you're sure of what you're going to do when it comes to the draft and the investment in the position for the future. You're going to have a guy that's under contract and Trubisky. Go ahead, Shane. Oh, he's stepping out for a second. I thought he was...
Well, so my point of why I thought Foles should have started was, to light a fire under Trubisky's ass, to say, hey, if I get in there, I got to play. So obviously, just us getting Foles, hopefully, maybe that's what did it for him, and that's why he played good in training camp, and that's why he won the job. And so, like Shane started the show with, I'm a Bear fan first. I made a tweet saying, it's like when you're the guy you voted for president doesn't win, you still, got behind the president at first because you're an American, It's the same thing, but, after a while, you got to say, hey, if it's not working, it's not working. And you got to be honest about it, and dude, Foles, say what you want. The dude won a Super Bowl and was the MVP. The dude can play. We all know he could play, and he didn't have an unbelievable offense. So, I hope Trubisky balls out. I hope he brings us to the playoffs. But I'm not as on board as you are, Phil, with him. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong about it.
Well, you're gonna see. That's the thing. You're gonna be able to see, and that's the great thing about this game. I can't. Claudio needs to stop clapping. I totally agree. He's so.
Please don't distract.
I'm 100% Italian. My hands talk more than my mouth, so
Sandlin,
I'm going to work on it. I will work on
right
it.
now. We're teetering on 3.5 hours. We will be.
Did I break people's air?
Keep doing this.
Yes, you're breaking eardrums. Whatever. I will say this: Mitch Trubisky is going to have to prove who he is. I think the competition breeds success. I've preached that over and over again. And I think that's where Mitch has taken that step. You got to believe in the assessment and the evaluation of how much time, as Stacey Dales talked about in the open, and we've completely run amok in regards to this situation. Finally, the stage is going to be set this Sunday to get to see what this guy brings to the table, and you gotta see it over the course, because like Cars and Shane said, it's like a preseason game. It's the first game. Think about when you had preseason games. The first game was always rough. Penalties, false starts, inaccuracy.
That was week 17 still last year, though. So, I mean, let's be real on that one, right?
So you're going to get all that stuff, but you're also going to get, hopefully, what we expect, and that's an explosive. We talked about the tight ends. We talked about everything in regards to what weapons this guy has at his disposal. And I'm excited about that because, listen, Foles, when I did the tape never lies, and it's been deleted again, but I did it on Foles, I even came away recognizing that this guy's more athletic, has a great deep ball, and has a toughness about him. So that toughness has gotten him in trouble with injuries because he's staying in that pocket, waiting for that open man, and then he's delivering. But in a perfect world, when he comes here and the weapons that he has here at his disposal, you're going to hope he catches fire if he's called upon. That's all you could do. Right now, the focus is all on Mitch. Mitch has been through a lot, just like Nagy said, and we've documented it. Just like Greg went through a lot tonight. I would say we'll bring Greg on the show. I saw his comment. I'm keeping it 100.
I think definitely
there was no plan. There's no script on this show.
Yeah, he knows that.
So there was no intention of even talking about this. It just came. I was like, whoa, keeping it 100. And we spoke about it. But there's no plan to bring Greg on tonight. Just addressing the truth there. Will 100%, Claudio, say, I think you will agree, Shane, I'll put you up next to me, that we'll bring Greg on to defend himself, even if it's next week. We got J.J. Stankovic next week joining us to assess what happened with the Lions. We might have Peter Bukowski, and Peter's known to fucking be a fraud. You could play this for him.
Well,
Peter, I'll take it back if you show up.
Yeah, it's not I don't want to call him a fraud. I would just say he's a homer. I told him that. Yeah,
I'm not saying I meant when it comes to plans. I know before he was going to come on, and then last minute he didn't come on. So I'm just saying, bring Greg on next week, and he can address this to you. And
all right. So let me do my job. Let's change subjects.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the last thing, obviously, because we're going long. We gotta get predictions out at least on this game, right?
We got one last tweet, right?
Yeah. Okay, we got one more tweet. Okay.
One more tweet.
One more.
There it is.
Throw it up. Yeah.
We gotta point this out. Packers suck.
Yeah, the first downs via penalty on third down. So that's you're out there and this team is benefiting from the refs calling a penalty on third down to gain a first down. You can see down here the lowly Raiders aren't benefited from it too much. I don't know if we can we pull out.
You want me to pull out?
Is that the Bears in
That's
there
what
someplace?
She said.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if you look,
there's no Bears in there.
You look all the way up.
Who's up at the top there?
See this team?
Point at it, Shane. Point at the Green Bay guy.
Yeah.
Can you get your finger around that? That would be cool.
This is getting really weird, guys. I don't know how else to say this.
But anyways, yeah, Green. We always.
That's the only time. No offense, Cars. Stats really get me fired up when they're actually evidence to what it is that I've been saying for years, calling it out in regards to the game. There is an unfair reality when it comes to this Green Bay or what I call the darlings of the NFL.
You would think they would win a lot more championships with how much they're loved. Just like Dallas, right? Like, you would think that those two teams would win a lot more than, I guess in Dallas's regards, never this century. And
well, it is a crazy to see that statistic up there, way up there, up at the top.
So let me have the last say on this whole fuck the Packers. All right, so let's go on.
That is the perfect moderator job, right there.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.
I'm trying.
All right.
So let's talk about this game. Let's talk about Week 1 against the Lions.
The predictions out.
The predictions, and how do you think the game is going to go, and what do you think the score is going to be?
Well, first let's put up the injury report that happened today. That we all told you was
nothing.
Limited, did not participate.
Bunch of fluff.
There's a lot of fluff in there. No peanut butter. Are you a peanut butter and fluff guy, or are you jelly and fluff?
Nutella and fluff.
Nutella and fluff.
Yes.
Oh, so you're communist. Got it.
Yeah. Not only kids ate Nutella.
No.
Have you had Nutella lately?
Lauren Cox is a big Nutella fan.
He puts it on fucking hamburgers.
Nutella is legit.
Well, he puts it on hamburgers. Would you do that, Claudio?
Put Nutella on hamburger? I don't know. I mean, I guess I would try it, but I don't know if I would like it. But
we have had Nutella pizza.
Well, yeah, we've had that at Zanelli's, and it's off the hook.
We got to bring
too many carbs for me.
Shane Marsaw over there to check that place out.
And I'll remember that night that we go out.
So, all right, Claudio, let me ask you. I'll let you bat lead off here. What is your prediction? I don't want the Clubber Lang pain response, but what is your prediction for Week 1?
My prediction is, we're gonna look good. I think we're gonna look good. I think Trubisky's gonna have a decent game. I think we're gonna win 24-10 is what I wrote down. So I'm gonna go with that.
24-10.
24-10, and I think we'll have a defensive touchdown in there. So that's my little extra prediction.
All right, Cars,
little extra.
You're up next.
So I've got the Bears 23-10, same kind of thing. You got to be concerned about Detroit's deep game. You have to enjoy the fact that they can't stop the pass. So I kind of feel like with our pass rush and how brutal their line is, that we're just going to destroy them. And touchdowns, yes, by both Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet.
Nice.
Wow.
Phil?
I'm going 27-13 Chicago Bears. I I feel like our boy David Montgomery is going to come out there and really surprise some people with how he's hitting the holes. I know he's coming off that injury, but going with my gut here in regards to the running game, I think Peter Bukowski will not come on the show as well because Montgomery have a big game. But
if they don't win, because with Hunter with Danielle Hunter out of the game for Minnesota, if they don't win, he's not showing up to anywhere. 100%.
If the
That's
Packers,
100%.
if the
If the Packers don't win,
I
he's
got
not showing up.
I got you. I agree with that. But I think Mitch is really going to show a lot of people the composure and a lot of the fundamentals. I think DiFilippo coming in here is really going to be the impetus. Obviously, they moved Ragone to passing coordinator, which is equivalent to Claudio taking all my fucking Coke Zeros. That's what Dave Ragone is. So I really think you're going to see a big step from Mitch, but I really think those tight ends and everything going on is really going to help David Montgomery, and that defense is going to hold him to 13 points because I really feel like they're going to be the dominating factor in getting those turnovers. I don't know if they're going to have a defensive turnover, but that's where I'm at. 27-10.
All right, I will finish off the prediction segment here, and I have a score of Chicago 20, Detroit 13. I think Mitch is going to throw 2 touchdowns. I think one of them is going to be to Cole Kmet, like Cars said. And who's going to be the other one? I think we might see a Riley Ridley appearance maybe if
my boy.
He's active.
I hope I don't
Maybe,
get that text that he's not active.
It probably will. So that'll shoot my predictions. But yeah, I see 20-13 Bears going to the Motor City and come out of there with a W. And I think that's, like I said earlier, it's ultra important that they come out. Even if it ends up being 21-20 or whatever, I don't really care too much what the final score is. They got to get out of there with a W and come back to Soldier Field, an empty Soldier Field, with confidence rolling against the New York Giants in Week 2. But
I remember last year when we were on the other network and we had the show before Week 1, and we were all confident about that game too. So hopefully, they come out with some fire and they
Big
really
difference though between slaying the Green Bay Dragon and
that's true.
And dealing with probably a bottom 5 coach in the NFL.
Yeah, well, that's even more reason why we need to come out. But I had another little bold prediction segment if you guys wanted to do it for the year, seeing how it's Week 1, season hasn't started. You guys have a bold prediction for the whole team, as like whether it's one player or something, whatever you guys want. What do you think, Shane?
I'm going to say rookie Jaylen Johnson gets an interception off of a tipped pass and returns it 42 yards, but doesn't score.
All right.
Bold prediction.
Is that
bold? That's really bold.
That's very technical, but Is that
very specific on the yardage?
I know.
42 yards.
Yeah.
Gonna have to call you Cleo if that comes true.
Yeah, that's right. Take it. Phil, you got one?
See, I was waiting for Claudio to practice to pass it around.
Okay, so Phil,
There
who
you
you got,
go.
Phil? I'll end up on this one. So Phil, who
Bold
you got?
prediction. I think Roy Robertson Harris will be second on the team in sacks this year with 13. 13 sacks. I'm going to go out. Maybe let me listen that. Let me go 11.
I thought this was a Week 1 prediction.
No, he said bold.
Bold prediction for the whole season.
Oh, for the season. I was
Pay attention, Marsaw.
I was paying attention to other things. I'm sorry.
Pay attention,
for the whole season.
Sorry.
I thought that was my Week 1 bold prediction on Jaylen.
No, I meant for the whole
Look at-
season. See how the season hasn't started yet.
Ladies Bear coming. Look
So
at
we'll come back to you, Shane, if you want.
Bears will
Shane.
lead the league in sacks. She knows how to do this.
Go
Bold
ahead, Shane.
prediction.
I mean, Cars, what do you got?
So I had gotten into several Twitter fights. I know that's unusual for me on Bears tight ends and catch, but I'm actually going to up my number that I think between Kmet and Graham that you're going to see northwards of 90 catches combined and well over 12 touchdowns.
Cole Kmet and
Jimmy
Graham combined catches. Say it again.
Yes, combined catches over 90.
Wow.
And 12 or more touchdowns.
Between the two of them.
Got
you. All right.
All right. Yeah. Let's hope that comes true.
I like this.
We need a good tight end, man. I miss the days of Olsen.
Listen,
he was amazing. So we need a guy like that.
You're not going to get Jimmy, 2 years ago, but I think to Phil's point, you're not going to get 38 catch Jimmy either. You get about 45 out of each of them, and it's a big win.
That's a big time get then. I like that.
So my bold prediction would be that the second leading receiver at the end of the season will be Wims with
bold.
80 catches. I think he's gonna quickly become a favorite. I'm telling you, I think he will. I think he's gonna be a deep threat. Javon Wims.
Wims. Say this again.
Will be the second leading receiver by the end of the season. I'm not saying the start of the season I think he's gonna slowly progress, and by the end of the season he will become the second leading receiver to A-Rob.
That's coming out big. Like there's bold and there's Picante bold, and that was definitely Picante.
I mean, I came up with this segment. I got to come up with something bold. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I try again next year, I guess. What are you gonna do? But I like him. I think he's a big play receiver. That a lot of the coverage is obviously going to be on Allen Robertson. I mean, he's going to get some playing time. There's a lot of good talk about him, so I think him and Trubisky are going to hook up.
All right.
No one has a bold Mitch. I'm looking for these fans.
I know. Well, here we go.
Shane Marsaw. Now you're back on the right page. You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
He's going to have 2 interceptions now.
Yeah.
For
84 yards. This isn't super bold, but a guy that I called out earlier, not Greg Braggs, Roquan Smith.
Please stop going to that.
Is going to live up to his draft status this year and be the linebacker that we've all been waiting for him to be overall. I think last year with the off the field stuff, and I think he's figured out how quick perceptions can change and how things can change, and I think he's locked in. I think he loves the game. I think he's maybe comfortable in his surroundings now, and I think he is going to show up and ball out and show all Bears fans that's the dude that we drafted. That's what we've been waiting for. He's going to be another piece, like I said with Jaylen Johnson. He's going to be one of those pieces moving forward where we can call a foundational piece moving forward. So I think that Roquan is in line to get shit figured out and take that next step.
I love it.
Nice.
I love
That's
it.
a mic drop.
All sounds good. Yeah.
I love it. I really do. I think it.
I mean, how fired up are you guys? I mean, football is about to start. I mean, we need this.
I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys know this, but tomorrow there are these 2 guys that we passed up playing in a football game. I don't know if every single fucking professional sports writer has let you know that, but
they played in the championship game too. I mean, or in the playoffs. I don't know if it's
did that happen. I haven't read an article about that 6 million times. So that's fascinating.
I know, it's amazing, but we can't live in the past. We gotta live with what we got, and
it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us to where, Claudio?
To shout-outs.
There you go, Claudio.
I remember. Yes.
Shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
He's learning. I am producing a shout-outs over a video. Me and my boy Lawrence Fleming are going to be producing that. So we don't have that, but we do send the shout outs to a special person and a special part of our show in regards to that. And it's always hashtagged up out there as Spencer Strong shout out segment. And for me, I need to share my screen here, but not show myself so I can get some beats, because I'm a hip hop head and I don't agree with Adam Rank in regards to
some Biggie,
Tupac over Biggie. I'm all about Biggie, but
as a white dude from the suburbs, you're completely wrong. It's Tupac. I mean, that's
oh my
100%.
God. I'm not at all subscribed to that.
Can you
see? Why does it always do that?
Can't play Big. Can you play Biggie? Is it
Nah,
legal?
I don't want to take the chance where you're copywritten.
Just start singing Biggie. Just start singing Biggie.
You can't keep
Start
saying his
rapping.
name because South Park has told us if you say his
Biggie,
name
Biggie,
3
Biggie.
times, he's going to appear over your shoulder. So
Really?
we got to be careful. Yeah.
Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. Oh, I'm not doing that. But we had an amazing show. A lot of things transpired tonight. We had Adam Rank. We had football talk. Mitch is the quarterback. The coach came out and said it, defined it for everybody questioning. 3-hour show, full of fireworks, passion, dumbest tweets, positive tweets. We got a defense. We're going to find out what we have on the offensive line. I can't wait to get into the film study. We also are on all the podcasting apps now. This Sunday, we will be Bears Hour Live, and we will be breaking it down right after. That being said, Shane is, or let's go to the guest. Cars, you are always Spencer Strong. How do you feel tonight? Are you ready to give some shout outs?
I feel a little beat up, but we're okay. I said it last week, but I mean it like the people that follow and talk in the chat. I love doing this. So everybody that keeps being active, keeps talking about it. There are too many names for me to really mention, but like I love talking football with all of you. So thank you so much for continuing to reach out to talk, whether it's here, whether it's Twitter, whether it's whatever. Like, it is such a great feeling. So thank you all very much.
Look at that, shouting out the world.
That's what I'm here to do.
Positivity.
If I could give the world a Coke, I
apparently Claudio takes all mine, so it's all good there. Claudio, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I do. I've been thinking about this time. Well, at least this time I know I'm going to have to do this. So the fans are awesome. Obviously my job is to read the comments. I appreciate all the people with all the positive remarks from me. I am trying. I am, going to get better with the comments and, just appreciate all the love. But I did want to shout out, we didn't talk about this, and obviously Twitter was a buzz about this. I want to shout out Slim Danger for making my week by
what is Slim
coming
Danger?
Out. Phil, you don't know. She dropped a deuce on Odell Beckham. She laid out his dirty Sanchez, and he and it was funny. So I want to just shout out her for doing that. It made my week. Made my Twitter experience good.
Look at that. Was it?
There you
You're
go.
only shouting out that person?
No, I shouted out the fans first, man.
Oh,
you didn't hear that.
I didn't.
Oh, I did.
Well, now it's down to Shane and myself. Shane, you got some shout outs?
No, I want to shout out everybody, the 100 crew showing up and representing in the chat room tonight. A lot of fun. Adam Rank for stopping on. Want to shout out my boy Chris Sandlin. We couldn't do any of this without him. Him and guys like Ryan Cox behind the scenes helping us out, and Cars showing up for us, being the good dad and hard worker and the nurse's wife, I guess, would be you, right? Isn't that what you are? You're the nurse's wife?
100 crew.
I don't know, whatever. I'm in over my head, I think is really what I am. Yeah.
So, and like I said, and I will make this proclamation public.
Go ahead.
I was the one that went there with the dumbest tweets. This wasn't anything that was planned by Phil. None of this was, sat down and talked about. I put the dumbest tweet in there, and I expanded on it. And I'm sure that I will talk to Greg, and I know he's very upset right now, and that's fine. That's part of the process, and I will have my talk with Greg. I'm sure, if not tonight, tomorrow. But I do love Greg, and I want that out there. Don't agree with everything that has been done, but it's not a kill shot. It's not something that's gonna end all of this at all. I look at this as the bump that puts us back in the right direction to fixing all of this. And I said when I mentioned before that our circle has gotten smaller, that can include, we're going to include the people in there that we want. And I think, obviously Greg has always been a part of that. And I think Phil would agree with me here. Greg has been an enormous part of that. And it is what it is. I probably took it too far. Maybe shouldn't have done everything on here, but that's the way that we've always rolled here. And I know he's pissed that we didn't have him on here to give his side of it, but there's a time and a place for that, and tonight wasn't that part of it. And like, if anybody wants to be pissed about where this went tonight, put your focus and your hatred on me.
Blames me, Shane. Thank you. Thank you for. That's what friends do. You gotta own your shit.
But I will say that Phil is a master manipulator at a situation of saying, well, maybe you should say this really horrific thing, and I'll just sit back and let you handle it.
So innocent.
What did I do?
I didn't say technically in this situation tonight.
Please be very careful here.
No,
I did not do that.
No, you didn't tonight. I told Greg that privately already. It's had nothing to do with Phil.
Because I'm totally. I keep it 100. Go ahead with your shout.
It's all good, but I shout out everybody.
I'm so proud of you shouting.
Everybody in the chat. Like I said, this is 2020. We all deserve this season coming up.
Football, baby.
We're getting our team back. I'm going to be like a kid at Christmas on Saturday night, getting ready for Sunday. Couldn't be happier. Chicago 20, Detroit 13. 42-yard interception return doesn't quite get punched in. Jaylen Johnson.
Look at you. Is that it for your shout-outs? Do you have anybody else you wanted to shout out?
No, that's it.
I always come with a list. I come prepared. I have it written down because I don't want to forget anybody, because it's so humbling. As I was talking to my father over the weekend about how the fans react to the truth of football and bearing the fuck down, and football is back. You could sense it at night. The temperatures are going down. You could smell the fall and the game of football. Just keeping it 100. Tonight, keeping it 100. Claudio heavy breathing. It sucks. It sucks on a podcast. It sucks when you're tired. It's like that dude who fucking yawns during your tests with the bubbles. It's like, oh,
I can't believe
you're like,
hear that.
fuck.
I don't even know I'm doing it. I'll push this farther away.
But I always keep it 100. My father, I kick it off with this. Surround yourself with good people. My first shout out is to Cherie, the Lady Bear Burnett. Is there anybody better? I love the truth. Get it. Keep it. I'll grab the mic, freestyle. I'll go out there. I'll do anything. I'm a competitive motherfucker. I always keep it 100 though. And that's why you're listening to this podcast or this show. You can fast forward. If the open's too long, fast forward. It's technology, right, Cars? You got it today. Mm-hmm. Chris Sandlin's logging the fucking segments for you. Everybody's getting ready. I'm ready. But Cherie, I'm gonna get the name right. You are an amazing, supportive fan, and I can't thank you enough for riding this train with us. Andrew Tarble, my boy, I saw him in the chat. Otis Nicholson, big time, keeping it 100. You can't practice what you preach. Talk it. Speak your truths. I love that. Mitch Galloway, I see him in the chat. John Gray, my boy Serg Orts. This dude, I can't even tell you what he's done for Shayne and myself. He's a truther. He's Team 100 Crew. Josh E, who came up with the name 100 Crew, shouting you out. Chris Gonzalez, I saw him in the chat. Brad Chambers, Zach Bradley, another truther. Share. What does it take for you to share this to your boy that's a Bears fan? Share it on Facebook, Twitter. Share the show. Share the podcast. It's everywhere. Michelle Sorensen. Chris motherfucking the man Sandlin. Former fantasy football champion Chris Sandlin. Pete Tuccio. Maritza Torres. Tim Anderson. Dennis Reardon. My boy, whose segment this is. Ryan Cox. Edward Loya. Dustin Reagan Padilla. I saw him in the chat tonight. He's rolling with cars. No matter what, cars. You should have shouted him out. He's your number one fan. Michael Tran. My boy. Chris Bennett. Phil Stearns. Nick Cruz. I got to do this in Rewind Beats, Gonzalez. Acevedo. I'm not a DJ like my boy. Rich Ludwikowski. My boy from Superfans, Chicago Superfans on Facebook, Jeremy Plashinsky. That's my dude. Go over Chicago Superfans. I fucked it up last week, but I won't this week. Ralph Tribby, the Haitian Nation. I love that dude. My boy Chubbs82 has been fiery in the chat tonight. Cal Abdullah, John Nicrone. You talk about Italians clapping, Claudio. Take some fucking notes. JC Ruddy, my boy Kelly Yorns, Zane Christensen, my boy from Chicago Bears fan forever, Alberto Valdez. We're going to do something special with him, Shayne, coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yep.
A very special episode with him. We're going to bring him on, record it, and you're going to love it. I got to shout out Alex Acevedo. Alex is back on team. Heather Sandlin, no coincidence. Chris, I already said, so you know the team. Steven Johnson, my boy Lawrence Fleming II. Zach Pearson from Shy City Sports. My boy Steven Johnson from Shy City Sports. Nick Bullitt from Shy City. Christian Shanafelt. My boy from Greece, Kostas from Greece. Athens, Greece is so loyal, Claude. He listens to every show. He loves, I'm sure he's bobbing his head to this beat. EJ motherfucking Jones. I wanted to shout him out for his birthday back in the day, but drama had occurred. His wife wanted us to do something. So EJ, love you. You're a huge supporter of, you're 100 Crew, 100%. Alec Baldwin, 100%. Mark Egan. Ali Fayez, 100% 100 Crew. Paulie Coasters, Shayne, your number one fan. Paulie Coasters from Jersey. I don't know if he's from Secaucus, but my boy Miguel Rodriguez. Let me get all the jerseys. Will Mookie Hill from Jersey. Kristen Gwen, my son's first grade teacher, who also supports me in my Biggie Smalls. Chris Bowditch from across the pond. I can't even read my own writing. David Winter. I just did it. Look at that. David Winter, Kino Cappuccino, Mike Pope, my boy 100 Crew, Todd Rucker, my boy Jeffrey McLaughlin, my boy who made the fucking clock, Zach Sullivan. He's here. He's 100 Crew. Brett Sellis. He's the first one in the chat tonight, Shane. Guess where he's from?
Tell me.
He's from Australia.
Nice.
He's fucking first one in the fucking chat.
Down under.
Down under, mate. He's from there. My boy, speaking of down under, how about South Africa? But now by ways of General Tso's China, you gotta love my boy Quentin Botha and his beautiful wife, Chantel Botha. I'm not hitting on her. My wife, I'm very proud. I outkick my coverage. I shout Steph out. Stephanie. My boy James Fox. My man. I can't state my opinion on the internet. You see him on YouTube all the time. I love that dude. Joe Palick, Jamari Riddick, Mike Pope, Kevin Winston, William F. Claudio. There's another Claudio Funkel.
Does he clap when he talks?
I don't know. We're going to have to ask him. Maybe he can respond in the YouTube
He's not
chat.
as good. He's not as good.
Bear in the Desert. How about my boy Toby Hill? Chris Jones. Chris Jackal was fiery in the chat tonight, huh? Was he there?
Jackal's always fiery.
Yeah. Cornelius Squalls. I saw him. And he was getting a shout out. Tim Derrick. I'm almost done. Ricardo Golina. Jeff Williams. Ricardo Golina from Anaheim. Jeff Williams. Big Bear on YouTube, Shane. I know you go back and forth with Big Bear. Jared Black. Judge Damas. Kurt Marshner. Rusty Hartman. Craw Aldner. Aaron Current. Big Papa Don. My boy Jay Jablonski. Gotta love him. Adam Liksowitz. Jeff Karjakian. I hope I said your name right. And last but not least, my boy Gregory. I don't know his middle name. Braggs. Gotta shout out Greg Braggs. And all of you guys, Adam Rank, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Claudio, you're stepping up your game. You really are. You're getting better. We said it. I know he's rehearsed 500 times, Shane. He wants a rehearsal tomorrow, probably. We will be live. Cars, thank you for joining us tonight. I love you. I'm going to just run a couple business things, and then we'll end the show. Does anybody have anything else to say before we remind our listeners where we are? Anybody? Going once?
Wait, I think we did not go 2.5 hours. I think it was a little longer.
I said
so
3 hours. We went over it. There was a lot.
I just want to let you know.
All right. So let me drop this beat out. Look at that. I'm learning. And then I'm going to play...
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, CastBox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shane.
And then again, this